We are the Insiders, and man, are we excited to be here today.
It's a party, baby!
What's going on, everybody? Good evening and welcome to our Saturday night special. Tonight, a little bit different. And we have got not only our regular Saturday show, which is our wrap-up show, but we're also going to do our predictions for tomorrow's Hell in a Cell as well. We have a very special way we are going to start this one off. And we had talked about this during the week. So the show tonight is, of course, dedicated to Alzheimer's awareness. And we are, Jeff, I want you to tell them about it because I know you have a friend that is involved in this. So please let the guys know what this is all about.
Yeah, so tonight we're going to tribute Alzheimer's awareness, and that's why our colors are purple tonight. That's the color for Alzheimer's awareness. And tonight, any super chats that we receive will go to the Purple Crusaders. They're doing an event on Monday. That's a walk, and it's a 12-mile trail. They're asking people to donate a minimum of $12, but obviously you don't have to do that. Anything, if it's $1, whatever, anything helps because it's going to a good cause. Alzheimer's is something that has affected a lot of people. It's affected me personally, and I'm pretty sure it has Tazzy and Joe in some ways as well. So, and I'm pretty sure the same can be said for people in chat. So, anything helps. I want to thank everyone in advance for your support. So yeah, we're gonna have a video that we'll show, that we'll have, and then we'll have one a little bit later on where I talked to my friend. We did a little brief interview, but just wanted to share those clips with you all, just so you know how important it is to him and how important it is to me. And we never know what Alzheimer's or dementia or any of these related diseases, we never know the impact that they can have until they're on our front door. And if anything, hopefully we can build awareness and support a good cause. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, please, again, as with anything like that, anything at all that we would get, of course, is going to go to the Purple Crusaders. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, we understand that, like Jeff said, hey, anything helps. Even if it's $1, that's terrific. And if you would rather, you could see the website up on our screen. You can go to that website as well, and give donations and stuff there. But yeah, it's something that unfortunately has affected many people, as I'm sure some of our listeners and stuff have been affected by this horrible disease. So yes, and right there is Rusty Shackelford. Thank you, Rusty. Really appreciate that on behalf of the Purple Crusaders. Of course, Rusty gives 20, and of course, Rusty's donation will be going right to that. So thank you very much, Rusty. Appreciate that. All right. Let me welcome in some people first. So as you can see, we have a new face with us tonight. Not new, but new to our show. Tazzy's here. Welcome, Tazzy. And, we would have had Jody too, unfortunately, but Jody's schedule and work is crazy. We know that. We heard that on Tazzy's stream the other night. So we'll say hello to Jody, and we wish you were here, obviously, but she couldn't be here tonight. So, Tazzy, man, welcome to the party.
This is very, very different here because I'm always on the other side of the show. So on that note, it's an insider party, baby.
There you go. Now we're official. Now we are official. So Tazzy's going to join in on all our fun tonight. So everything we do normally, this will be between all three of us. So when we get to the debate segment, when we do grievances, we will have Tazzy involved with that. So that's the way the show is going to break down. We're going to go over the normal things that we normally would do. We'll talk about the news. We'll talk about the headlines, that kind of thing. We'll do all of our segments, and then right after that is when we will do our predictions for Hell in a Cell. So let me say hello to some people. Of course, as always, my co-host, Jeff. Jeff, man, and again, we talk about this every single week. There's always something going on in this crazy world of wrestling. This week was no different. And you know what? It was a fun week, man. We got some really fun stuff to watch. And that's always exciting. From SmackDown last night, what went on there, to Impact on Thursday night, to NXT on Tuesday night. It was a really fun week. AEW last night had some crazy things happen in there too. I got a chance to watch that after I got off Tazzy's. It has been a crazy week and a fun one.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes segments like airing of grievances not really have a lot of steam behind them, but but yeah, I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, I mean, my God, it's such a great time to be a wrestling fan. And if you say you can't find any wrestling that you enjoy, it's not a wrestling problem, it's a you problem.
That's right. That's right. Like if you can't find, and I mean, I'm not even talking about MLW. I'm not talking about Ring of Honor. I'm not talking about things like that. There was a fantastic documentary on Vice about China as well. And if you are a fan of classic wrestling, please go watch it. It is hard to watch, and not because of what you may think. It was hard to watch because it was sad, and it really hits home. I feel now even more determined that China should be in the Hall of Fame than I was before. But yeah, if you haven't had time to watch that and you do get Vice, go check it out. It's heartbreaking in many moments, but the director of it has done a great job with it. It was done very well. But listen. They were talking about this a little on Busted Open, and you guys know I listened to that. And they had said that, when younger people that watch wrestling, when they hear China's name, right, they're going to Google China. And yes, things may come up that are unsavory, but they're not looking for that. They're looking to find out about her. So if the reason why they're not putting her in the Hall of Fame is because, and this was said by someone, I'm not even going to say who, but this was said by someone that, well, we don't want them Googling her. That's silly at this point. So that, but if you haven't, and I know there's so much going on, but go ahead and watch that because it really was a good documentary. So, hey, Jeff Watson donated. There you go. Jeff's really busy. Look at that. Jeff's on the show. Jeff's donating. As we said, you can see that up there. It's for a really great cause. And, like I said, even if you could throw in $1, we are not forcing anyone to do that. Please don't think that we are. But if you could throw out $1 and forego maybe that small cup of coffee or whatever the case might be that you may normally get, or that can of soda, we would really appreciate it. So, all right, let's get into it, shall we? We've got a lot to cover in the few hours that we will be on with you guys. So, Jeff, whatever you want to start with, let's get rolling, man.
All right, let's see here. Do you want to share that video, that quick video?
Sure.
Okay, I won't share both of them tonight. I'll just share the one where he's talking about his wife. So yeah. As soon as this is done, it's about 3.5 minutes. As soon as this is done, we'll be back on the other side to talk about all the breaking news in wrestling this week.
There you go.
But I wanted you to briefly share with everyone how this disease has personally touched your life.
I will, Jeff, and you know my story. And Jeff, I had a wife who passed away from complications of Alzheimer's. Her name was Teresa. Everybody called her Sweet Tea. She was so beautiful, and she was just so physically fit. She had a smile that would just stop a clock. She was the love of my life. And at age 55, she comes down with early onset Alzheimer's at age 55. We thought we had the world by the string. Both of us were getting near retirement age. We were looking forward to the golden years. And then the love of my wife comes down with the disease, and she lived 7 years from the time she was diagnosed. She passed away 7 years at age 62. I was her primary caregiver, Jeff, for those 7 years, and it was brutal. I ran a small business here. I cared for her, and when I say cared for her, it was 365 days a year, 12 months out of the year, 7 days of a week. It's just absolutely no break. And the caregivers really, really suffer, and the family members really, really suffer watching their loved ones just lose it. This disease took everything away from Teresa. It took everything away except the twinkle in an eye and the smile on her face and the big heart that she always had. But it took her ability to communicate away, her mobility away. And while witnessing this thing, my health even started declining. I felt like I was going to have a nervous breakdown. I was just all but losing it myself. And what I have done is I have turned my life over to advocacy work. I just talk to folks all of the time that are dealing with it. I also go out and speak to groups, telling of a testimony. And my thing is to look for triumph to come out of tragedy. I'm determined to the last breath that I take to try to make 1 grain or 1 ounce of difference on helping folks that are dealing with this, because it is a terrible national problem that is just beyond comprehensive, and we have got to find a cure.
All right. Well, there you go. That's just, heartbreaking. It really is. And thank you again, Rusty. Wow. That's awesome. Amazing stuff, man. Thank you so much. And I know the Purple Crusaders will thank you as well. Wow. Great stuff. And thank you. And thanks, Big Dan, sending prayers out. Yeah. I mean, it's really, I haven't had anyone close to me that, in my family, immediate family, that was diagnosed, but I've known a lot of people who have, and it's really, really heartbreaking and really tough, as he described. So again, thank you for him coming on and kind of informing people about it, so we know a little bit about it. But keep them in mind, like I said, please, if you can, and I get it. I know a lot of you guys, you may not have that extra money, and that's fine. Like I said, just keep it in mind. And hey, if you can't, then share it. Share the video. Something like that, or even if this brought a little more attention to it for you, then that's fantastic. So, all right, Jeff, I've got some breaking news, as our friend Wade Barrett might say. We've got some breaking news in the wrestling world. So we had a little drama on Thursday night, did we not?
Oh, boy.
A little bit of drama on Thursday in Impact Wrestling. You guys know we do an Impact stream every single Thursday. And this Thursday, man, we saw some drama between the two gentlemen you saw on the screen. Sami Callihan, of course, getting into the ring, and he got kind of chased out by security. James Chadwick, thank you so much, James Chadwick, with the very kind donation. No, dude, listen, please, thank you. Don't apologize at all. And like we said, any little bit that you can give will help. And thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that, man. Thank you. But yeah, so we saw Sami in the ring, got chased out. Scott D'Amore comes down, and then the shocker. Who came down from above? We're thinking it's going to be somebody dressed in a suit. Somebody's going to come strolling down. No, it's Tommy freaking Dreamer. So Tommy Dreamer shows up. He's the guy from above. He's the guy from Anthem. He comes down, gets in a little discussion with Scott D'Amore. Didn't really know what was happening for a few seconds there because everybody assumed, and I did too, that Callis was getting canned. But then he kind of started, and D'Amore's getting mad. He's throwing his glasses, and you think, is he firing Scott D'Amore? For a couple seconds, that's what I thought. And then no, turns around, fires Don Callis, reinstates Sami Callihan, and man, we are going on towards Slammiversary with the main event now. Sami versus Kenny. And we're still yet to see what the stipulation of that match is going to be. And then, of course, we got the whole drama with Moose as well. Moose comes down. He's going on basically a sit strike. I'm going to sit in this ring until, somebody comes out and listens to me because Scott D'Amore would basically blew him off. So Moose is sitting in the ring. And who comes in but Chris Sabin. Chris Sabin, who's been missing from wrestling we haven't seen him for a while. And, of course, following the storyline, he got beat up by Moose the last time we saw him. So he comes in the ring, kicks Moose out of the ring, and now we have a match between Sabin and Moose also at Slammiversary. So what an impact we had, Jeff. And, man, we got some advancements of storylines going on.
Yes, we did. And we also just had an addition to the stream. So
I see. Is that Jody?
I just wanted to pop in and say hi for a little bit. I ran out to pick up pizza for everybody, so
what's going on, Jody? Nice to hear you.
I figured I'd stop by and say hi.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you for popping in. We know, like I said, Jody's been very busy. The work schedule's crazy. And she just wanted to stop by and say hello to all of you guys. So hello, Jody. We appreciate you popping in. Hope you enjoy your pizza.
They will.
You have any thoughts before we go on? Anything you want to say to everybody?
I love you guys, and I miss you, and I will do my best to pop in tomorrow during Hell in a Cell. This is normally about a good time, calm time for me to be able to do that, so I may be able to sneak a half an hour and come talk to everybody tomorrow night as well.
There you go. Very cool. Well, we hope everything gets better. We know that you've got some stuff coming up on Monday. So make sure everybody, of course, keeps Jody in your prayers as well. And, we all hope and we're all praying that everything works out for you, obviously, with your medical stuff that you've got happening on Monday. So we know that that's coming up. So obviously, we will all be thinking about you on Monday.
Thank you. I'll hang out for a few minutes.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. Jody's going to stick around for a little bit. So go ahead, Jeff. What are you thinking about what we got out of all this crazy drama that we had on Impact Wrestling?
Oh, man. Honestly, Impact just continues to raise the bar. It continues to be the most consistent wrestling show on TV week to week. It's just, it was amazing. And this week was no exception. We knew we were going to get something big. We got a lot of big things, and we're just mentioning a couple of the bigger elements. Folks, we haven't even mentioned, thank you so much, Sean Rousset. We really appreciate that, buddy. Yep. Honestly, we haven't even mentioned the fact that we're getting a freaking Ultimate X match at Slammiversary. That's how big of a week it was in Impact Wrestling. So, yeah, it was great week, man. Great week and a lot of drama, and I love it.
You know what, Jeff? Let's switch a little bit. Since we've got Jody with us for a few minutes, let's switch a little bit. Let's shift gears a little bit, pop forward a little bit to something a little more closer to Jody's heart. And let's go to a little bit of news that we had from certain places and certain other parts of the world. I think it's Canada and whatever, that we may be getting a return that everybody is waiting for, including, of course, Jody. So Bray Wyatt has been rumored to be on TV being advertised for August 9th episode of Raw. Jody, talk about this. Everybody's been waiting for you to talk about when he's coming back. I mean, obviously, again, we can't get too crazy because, it's not been confirmed by the higher-ups. But what are you thinking that we're finally getting good news about Bray coming back?
It's about freaking time.
Right?
Yeah, obviously, I think it came from, correct me if I'm wrong, it came from some kind of ticket purchase or ticket sales or something. And I know from experience of purchasing tickets, it always says card subject to change. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt. Obviously, we all want him back as soon as possible. We all miss him a lot. And if that happens, I think we'll be safely streaming Raws at that point, and you'll get to see my reaction completely live. So
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We can't be more happy that this, and Tazzy the Fiend might be coming back, man. And yes, we are going to be streaming Raw and SmackDown around that time, of course, because like I said, we're starting up when fans are coming back in the building. So we will be able to stream the Fiend's return. Tazzy, how excited are you for the Fiend coming back, man?
As you see with my logo, he's very happy right now. Oh my God, dude! It feels like it's been like ages, and it's
because it has been ages.
Right. And we had WrestleMania. We had him twice. I guess you consider him with the melted everything going on. I guess that's not including that. No, we can't include that. We need Bray. We need the Fun House. We need everything. I am so excited. Soon as they get out here, I will be going to the show. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's right, man. Live TV is back. I mean, now I know C Wrestling mentioned, if you didn't check out Tazzy's anniversary stream, you can go back and do that. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people were there. Jeff and I were there. So go back and check that out if you hadn't gotten the chance to. His 1-year anniversary was yesterday. But I know C Wrestling was talking about it a little bit too. And he did bring up a point about, they being that they're going to be live, they will go back to having some dark matches. So remember when Bray first started, with a lot of it was dark matches and stuff, and that's why Jody's kind of saying take it with a grain of salt, because we don't know yet. It could be a fan draw where they're selling tickets because the fans may see him, and maybe just not on TV and stuff like that. Maybe they're going to get ready as he did.
It could be a dark match as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, it could also be that. So it could be a dark match. So very, very possible. But Jeff. Man, good news all around. Hey, we've got a little show all about Bray Wyatt on Mondays. So it's going to be good to finally have some good news and talk about some good things on there and, get back to talking about Bray Wyatt again.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I got to give a lot of credit to Jody because, somehow, some way we managed to fill in an hour most weeks of Bray centered talk. So it'll be good to have him back on screen so we can talk about him again and talk about what he said and theorize and go down the rabbit holes that he brings us down every time he's on screen. So yeah, I'm excited to see him. I hope he comes back before that, but we'll see. I'm hoping Money in the Bank or sometime sooner. But yeah, I'm excited. I cannot wait. Honestly, can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. And I know a lot of you guys in chat are listeners to Abby's every single week, every single Monday. So I know that you guys are, and listen, it's no secret that when we put out a post, an Instagram, a Facebook post, whatever, if it concerns something Bray related, it gets a lot of looks. As evidenced by the fact that you guys are also all masochists and you all hate me. And when I put the post out with the Alexa Bliss contortion, that became our most liked post ever. So thank you very much for that. And let's just all hope that doesn't happen on Sunday. Because if so, Joe is going to vomit on camera. And we don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Right? Maybe you guys want to see that, but I certainly do not. So, yeah. Anyway. All right, let's bounce back. Tazzy, did you get a chance to I didn't want to go to you about Impact because I know you've been busy working. Did you get a chance to watch the Impact thing last week with Don and everybody?
Yep, I was here.
Okay. Oh, my God. You were there. Yes. Okay, Tazzy, fill them in. What did you think about all the stuff that was going on with Impact?
That's when you know it's been a long week.
And I just rushed in here literally and made it on like with seconds to spare because I was out all day. So you guys will have to excuse me more so than ever. Go ahead.
Dude, oh my God. What a mess. A great mess, but what a mess. I mean, even the Saturday before was crazy and went all the way straight through Thursday. I'm like, oh my God. And you know what that remind me of? Anybody remember it's not a copy and paste, but it's close. But it kind of remind me of the thing was going on with Vince, and then Triple H came out, and he didn't have nothing in charge yet, and then they put him in charge. The board of directors put him in charge, and then he basically fired, quote unquote, Vince to for the show, and then he took over. That remind me of that one. That's I actually like that part. It was awesome. I'm happy about Sammy getting the match now. Cage match. Looking forward to that. I can't wait. We're getting an Ultimate X match. I can't even talk. Oh my God. I'm so excited. I can't. I don't know what else to say.
Uh-oh. Joe, you're muted, Joe. You're muted, Joe. He can't hear you.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. Joe, you're muted.
I'm muted. Yes, I am.
You were muted.
I told you I'm all out of sorts. I'm discombobulated. I just got home. I was eating Mission Barbecue on my way home, trying to get, I had some brisket and I'm all, I'm all discombobulated. So anyway, I didn't even welcome anybody in because I'm so discombobulated. See, like this, we're out of control. I'm out of control. I'm going to put myself in timeout very soon. All right. Well, let's get back to order, shall we? Azan, hello. Hi, Butterspark. Hey, Andrew. What's up, Big Dan? Of course, thank you, everyone who's donated so far. Sean Rousset, thank you so much for doing that. Really, really appreciate that tonight. Jeff, Rusty, of course, has donated already as well. Jason Michael, hello to you. James Grant. Gust is here. Will Jax is here. Jason Michael is here. We have Maj is here. Hello to you. Chad, what's up? We have James Chadwick, of course, also donated very kindly. Thank you, James. We have, who else do we have here that I missed? Nathan Salas is here. J Hub is here. And those of you who I did not see higher in the chat, welcome to the show. I promise I won't mute myself anymore. I promise. And stand there looking like a fool with nothing coming out of my mouth. I won't do that anymore. Okay. So, and the other thing that this led to, obviously, was that Moose got a contract extension from Impact. So that's a big deal for Impact Wrestling, especially after what happened with him and Kenny and the whole thing with AEW, because if they're going to continue any of that, he's going to want a piece of that action because of what happened with him and Kenny. So if you didn't see that, it was a fantastic match between both of those guys at the pay-per-view. But it's cool that he's staying. He, like Jeff said this many times, he's just kind of hitting his stride now, and it's good that he decided to stay with Impact, and it's good that he will be back. Quit thinking about Couture. Yeah, I just can't get that out of my head. Big Dan. That's what it is. That's what it is. I'm afraid what's going to happen. Jeff, obviously we're happy that Moose is back.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because he signed a 2-year deal, and that's interesting to me because it says that, hey, I'm going to commit to Impact for another couple years. But what it also tells me, in my opinion, is that at the end of those 2 years, his stock is going to be even higher than what it is right now. And he will have companies salivating over bringing him in. And, you know, honestly, and maybe I'm wrong here, a lot of people had the rumors going around that he was going to sign with NXT. NXT has been great, don't get me wrong. Moose is a guy that belongs on Raw or SmackDown, period. The caliber of matches, let's forget about the fact that he's, you know, like 6'4", 6'5", you know, about 285, whatever. Look at his matches. The quality of his matches have gotten so good. He's improved so much. And I honestly think that what he's doing, and you could see a little bit of this on Thursday, the next 2 years are going to all be about his promo skills. He's improving there. He has improved there. But if you get Moose to a point where he can talk just a little bit more, he's the total package. He will be the free agent in 2 years, and everybody will want a piece of him. And I, for one, cannot wait until that day happens. It's going to be a sad day for Impact, but it's going to be a big payday for Moose.
Absolutely. James Chadwick says he's completely outshining everyone right now. And yeah, man, like Jeff was saying, if he does go direct to a main roster, can you imagine the battles? Can you imagine him and Lashley? Could you imagine him and Keith Lee? Could you imagine him and Drew McIntyre against, giant versus giant? Him against some of these big guys that are in WWE would be really cool to see.
Shoot, him and Brock.
Him and Brock Lesnar. Yeah, dude.
Him and Bray. Think about Moose and Bray. I mean, it's ridiculous. And he already has history with Karrion Kross. So, you add that factor in there. There's just so many things that they can do.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely, man. Chad is talking about AEW last night. Wardlow and Jake Hager in an MMA style fight. Yeah, that was cool. I watched it. It opened the show. Next week, I hope Sammy Guevara gets MJF back for what he did to Chris. Look, AEW was a fun show last night, too. I watched it. I saw the tag team versus one man with Darby Allin. It was a good show. Wardlow showed out. That's another guy, big giant of a man that really kind of stayed in the background for a little bit, and now they're kind of putting him over. They're letting him come out, and he's an impressive dude. Tazzy, what do you think about Moose staying in Impact?
Great move. I would. Oh my God, man! WWE Impact. Can we do crossovers, please? I would love that. We can still get crossovers from AEW. I don't know the way they're going. No way they're going with the everything. Is it possible that we might get Dale and maybe John Moxley, him and John Moxley in the future or something like that? That'd be insane. Heck, I would like Sammy in versus John Moxley, honestly. But anyway, I think it's a great move. Dude is awesome, man. The size he is and the moves that he do in the ring, and a scary individual. He's like, he could be one of the top heels, better than Roman Reigns right now. He can see that. So I applaud Impact for signing him to a 2-year contract. Hope it's a big deal. Get that moolah. And shout out to Moose.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with everything you just said. All right, let's move on, shall we? We had some stuff happen on Raw as well. That was quite a surprise. And I'm going to let Tazzy open this one because Tazzy's the NXT guy. Not all that thrilled about the whole name thing, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But Tazzy, I can't really speak to this because I don't get to watch NXT UK a lot. So how big was this that Piper Niven was the person who was brought out by Eva?
If you guys have not seen NXT UK, she should have been NXT UK champion. It was bad timing because, of course, Kaylee Ray was like that person. She was the longest reigning champion, so it was just a bad timing, along with a lot of wrestlers that's there. But oh my God, if you guys, you see a little bit what she can do, but you actually haven't seen her actually do her thing. The size she is amazing. The way she is and the way she moves in the ring, it's insane. She is, and I'm saying this now. She is a future women's champion. I'm saying it now. I don't know what's up with the name. we had some fun with it last night, but I don't know. I'm not going to even say the name because I'm like, why? Why? What's wrong with Piper? Can it be Piper?
Yeah. As I said on Tazzy's stream last night, I like dew because it reminds me of the morning. So good.
Joe, you remember coming, not the sequel, but the original Coming to America, when they're in the barbershop and they're talking about Muhammad Ali, and the dude says, his mama named him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay. Same thing. I know her as Piper Niven. I'm gonna call her Piper Niven. I'm not calling her Dewdrop until I see it, and I will fight against it as long as I can. But yeah, Piper is amazing, and I'm glad that if you haven't gotten a chance to see a lot of her, just wait, because my goodness, it's gonna, your mind will be blown, I believe. And I don't want to throw shade at Nia Jax, but I'm this is probably going to sound a lot like shade. Piper is the type of worker in the ring that people want Nia to be. Like that's honestly what she is. Like she has the opportunity to really shine on Raw, or if she eventually ends up on SmackDown, she's definitely a future world champion. So
I kind of knew something was going on with Eva, because again, we heard that Eva was going to be more of a valet. That was the rumor, and indeed that came true. So they kind of threw a swerve out there saying that it was her first match back. Obviously she didn't wrestle, but how long do you think Piper is going to put up with the fact that Eva's taking credit for wins? When she won that match, and he was like, oh, the winner of the match, and I don't know how long whatever faction she's building up here is going to last if she keeps doing that. And this may all end up coming back to haunt her at some point. But as of right now, it looks like she's forming something, maybe some kind of a stable. Maybe she's going to be in charge of all of this. But it looks as if she's bringing people in, and now we're just going to have to see how long that goes. So, again, me not knowing, Piper, because I don't get to watch NXT UK, I'm interested to see where it goes. And like Jeff said, listen, they can call her whatever name they want to call her, and that's up to the powers that be. But those of you who have watched her and enjoyed her career, honestly, it doesn't matter. It's all a part of an identity and stuff like that, and she's still going to be great in the ring, as Jeff and Tazzy have been talking about. So it's cool. I'm ready to see what she's going to bring. And like Jeff said, the matchups that you can get with her and some of the people that are on the main roster are going to be really, really fun to watch. So another very cool moment coming out of WWE. And we have more and more cool things coming. Let's talk about, I think next is SmackDown, Jeff.
Yeah. I mean, this dude Roman Reigns, man. I mean, go ahead, Joe, because Roman is just on another level right
He lawn darted Ray again. Ray got lawn darted again. We go back to NWO when they lawn darted him, when Kevin Nash lawn darted him off the side of the truck. And now he got lawn darted off the side of the cage. Poor Ray, man. Like, you know, when you're a smaller dude in a land of giants, this is the kind of thing that they probably discuss in the back. And can you imagine when they had this discussion with creative and Ray's like, not again, man. I did this back in the 90s. You have to do this to me again? But like Jeff said, Roman Reigns is brutal. Just brutal. And he took a beating. Like he literally got smacked with a fire hydrant, sprayed in the face. He took a toolbox to the head. He took chair shot after chair shot after chair shot. He took everything Ray had to possibly give and just blew it off. Yeah. So the question is, man, who is going to come out and beat this guy? Like, who is going to – now you're even starting to have doubts. I mean, everybody – you know, the rumor is it's going to be John Cena next. Does anyone truly think that John Cena is going to take him out?
Nope.
Right? Like, and I mean, does anyone even think The Rock is going to take him out at this point? Who are they going to build up? Who are they going to build up? Who are they going to build up to the moon that's going to come in and dethrone Roman Reigns? Man, oh man.
I have a theory.
Go ahead, Jody.
I think if the Fiend comes back, have him attack Seth Rollins, turn Seth face, then have Seth come back and beat Roman Reigns. Face Seth.
That has to happen. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the former members of the Shield, that has to blow up. You know, they have to kind of blow up against each other, and that definitely has to happen. And maybe, you know, maybe what they're doing here is they're just kind of biding time. You know, between these big matches, if it is going to be Cena, they'll work towards that probably coming up soon, and for SummerSlam. And then he's going to have to kill some time with someone else in between that, because Cena won't stay. So it's going to be someone else then after that. So maybe that will be the feud that they'll have. As Jody said, it'll be Seth maybe and Roman, and that will go up to the time when they're going to decide who's going to come back for next WrestleMania. That's going to be the match that he's going to have, whether that is going to be The Rock or whether it's going to be someone else. Is it going to be Brock Lesnar? Is it going to whoever? But I agree with Jody. I think. What do you think, Tazzy, about this? Do you agree with Jody? You want to see Roman and Seth get it on?
Well, and here's the thing too. If you have Seth be the one to finally defeat Roman, because the Fiend turned Seth face, you can then have Roman get his revenge on the Fiend and have that whole feud.
Very true.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, that was hinted at anyway, with the whole wobbly walrus puppet and everything back when. So that's still out there. So yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Tazzy. What are you thinking?
Don't forget, we have one more pay-per-view after Hell in a Cell, and that is Money in the Bank. We might can get. It depends. This is like why I like this time of year, because the whole Money in the Bank factor, what we can do besides last year with Otis winning. But anyway, Seth can win that. Seth can win that. You can go heel versus heel. Do it really matter if it's heel versus heel? Do it really matter? No. I mean, it's getting to the point like there's really going to be no heels or faces no more. It's just going to be wrestlers, which it should be. So I think we might get Seth to win the Money in the Bank. Future, he was the Money in the Bank winner before, so just saying, might go from that. Otherwise, I honestly think the only person can really beat him is Brock Lesnar.
That would be something else too, because everybody knows no matter if Brock comes back and goes after Drew to kind of right that wrong, you know, eventually there is no way Brock is going to be happy that Heyman is now in his mortal enemy's corner. That's not going to sit well. So you know that's coming around the corner too. Jeff, what do you think, man? I mean, it's almost as if, are they building him up too much at this point where you just don't see, and we just went through a list of names. I mean, we went through a pretty big list of names there. Is it to the point now where they're just they don't have anybody maybe that could take him out, at least who's currently there?
If done properly, which SmackDown gives me a little more hope, him being built this way makes the guy that does it look tremendous.
Oh, absolutely.
And what I want to do is I want people to think back. There was a moment not too long ago. It seems like forever ago. And it was Survivor Series. There was this guy that had a great moment with Roman, who was in NXT at the time, and he has been on the shelf for a few months now, and his name is Keith Lee. Keith Lee, in my opinion, held his own with Roman. Now, that was a different Roman, and that was a different Keith Lee. But think about the bookend to that. Roman came out and said, too, hey, we got to do this again. We got to run it back one-on-one. What if, let's just say what if Keith Lee wins Money in the Bank? Now we get Keith Lee, who can challenge anyone that he wants to, and he chooses Roman so they can run it back. And let's say that Keith is an opportunist, and he waits until Roman has gone through something, and he comes out and he cashes in because it's smart. That feud, if you give me a Keith Lee Roman Reigns feud, and I'll say this too, same goes for Big E. You give me either one of those guys, I'm down, because I don't want to see the same stuff. I would not mind seeing him and Seth. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That would be great. But I want to see Big E or Keith be the one to take him out and get that title. And let's establish a feud there, because, man, that would be tremendous.
Both of those guys would definitely deserve it. And as on saying, no love for Big E. No, listen, obviously Big E is maybe going to be moving on from Apollo soon. So it seems like Apollo's getting the best of that, and that they're going to keep that title on Apollo for a little bit longer. So, yeah, I mean, if he's going to move on from that, then certainly he could be another one who can go and challenge Roman for that title. So, yeah, I'd be cool with either one of those choices. But, man, oh, man, Roman gets a Father's Day off. Roman will not be there on Sunday, as, of course, Ray won't either. But we got another killer match, man. We were all kind of wondering why this happened, and we found out why. Because you're going to get Bianca Belair versus Bayley in that second Hell in a Cell match. So that should be incredible as well. So everybody was wondering, well, why did this happen? Well, the wheels are spinning. We also did get Sami Zayn versus KO as well. Now, that's not in a cell, but that's also going to happen according to what that was may have been a choice to have been a Hell in a Cell match, but they gave it to the two women, and well deserved. That should be. I mean, imagine sadistic Bayley, tying Bianca Belair's hair to that cage at some point in that match. She likes to mess around with her hair. Imagine she ties her to the cage at some point. That can be a brutal cage match between those two. So people saying in the chat, anyone excited about this pay-per-view? Daniel Sun says, and welcome. Yeah. There's some good stuff looking like there's going to be there for tomorrow. We will be streaming it. So shameless plug. Make sure you join us tomorrow night for Hell in a Cell. All right. What do we got next in the news?
I don't know. I mean, I think Willie Mack is spreading across promotion. So we're gonna talk about how Samoa Joe put people to sleep on Tuesday night.
This was many people's big moment of the week, bar none. I mean, when, and I'm gonna listen. Jeff is our Swami on the show. There is no doubt. I will never question it. He gets more predictions right than almost any prognosticator for wrestling that I know. But I did call the Joe thing. I'm going to pat myself on the back for once. I got one thing right. Joe showed up. It was a very cool moment. Of course, William Regal comes down to the ring, and man, listen, people, young folks in wrestling, young wrestlers, young talent, watch William Regal's promo, please. That man cut a hell of a promo, came out and brought the emotions. I mean, that is what you look for in a promo. And yes, Regal is a ring veteran. He's been around. But that was such a good promo. Coming out, he had tears in his eyes, talking about how his was it his granddaughters or his daughters saw him it was such an amazing promo. And then out comes your heel champion. Karrion Kross comes down to the ring and comes down and says, are you crying? Are you crying right now? Bringing the heat onto himself. And then, boom, the music goes off and out comes Joe. And nobody knew what capacity he was going to be, but he agreed with Mr. Regal to be his enforcer on the show. And already you saw, and he did say you can't touch anyone unless you're provoked. Well, people provoked Joe apparently and probably shouldn't have, because like Jeff said, they went night-night. And so, man, excited about NXT. That show last week was tremendous. Excited about Joe being there. I think it's going to be awesome. Whether or not Joe wrestles, we have no clue. Whether or not he's been cleared, we don't know. All you can do is go for the ride. But Joe is going to be a presence. Tazzy, I'll start with you because you're the NXT guy, and unfortunately you missed. Tazzy was in baseball and missed this episode. I am sure you watched it, but what about Samoa Joe being part of NXT now?
Yeah, I was one of those guys that's like, I was like, I'm going to leave my notification on for Twitter and see what happens. Like I said yesterday, about 8:25-ish, all you heard was ding, 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 ding. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And I always heard was Joe. I'm like, okay, you guys got here with this game. I got to get home. Hurry up. Hurry up. Got home. Oh, my God. Now, I'm going to say this. Been watching NXT since the beginning. So happy to see Samoa Joe back. Just, not wrestling, but, just back. When he was in NXT, he was a dangerous individual. Not saying he wasn't a dangerous individual at Impact, but he was very dangerous individual in NXT. The matches he had with Finn Balor, was ridiculous. I think they went like 3 matches. One was in the cage, and oh my God. This might be a chance where this might be one of those things where it's like he's on the side right now, but he might be the GM in the wings. I would love to have a GM that people are scared of. But yeah, I'm so happy to see Joe back, and yes, he's doing his inner moose.
Channeling moose.
So
is true.
It's kind of very interesting to see Adam Cole put to sleep, and Samoa Joe's looking at Hill, talking to Hill while he sleep.
Oh man, Jeff, no nonsense. Samoa Joe is back in NXT.
James Chadwick brings up a great point, and I put that comment.
Saw that, yeah.
This feels like that when
Mhm.
Austin was out and injured. He was the hot when he got injured. He was the hottest thing going in wrestling at that moment. He was the guy, and he got injured, and WWE said, "We got to keep him on TV somehow." It's the same thing with Joe. Joe is so underrated. And it's crazy to say that because a lot of people shout him out and talk about him, but he still doesn't get the respect and the credit and everything that he deserves, in my opinion. When Joe is on your program, it elevates your program, period. No matter who you are, no matter what he's doing, he could be sitting ringside eating popcorn and it would make your show a better show. So I love the fact that he's there. I like this enforcer type of role that he has right now. I mean, this is great. And if he's going to put people in check like this, I want to see more of it. I want to see if people are going to get the hint and say, you know what, I better not provoke Joe because look at what Adam Cole did, and he didn't even get the dignity of having a pillow and a blanket. He just went night night on a cold hard floor, and I mean, and Joe gave him a bedtime story. He said, tell him when he wakes up that he needs to go talk to Mr. Regal. So he put him to sleep and even read him a bedtime story. So that's Joe for you. I mean, he aims to serve the wrestling world. So I'm glad
He's a considerate man. Yes,
he is.
He is. Very, very considerate. Daniel's son has to go. Safe travels to you. Yes. Traveling. Yes. Thanks for joining in. And thanks for being here, dude. Rusty made a call. Oh, God. Oh, dear Lord. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I saw Rusty made a comment about Goldberg.
Oh, yikes.
Don't even he's Big Dad says, don't you put that evil on us. Do not mention that name. No. Oh, hell no. Listen, the sad part about that is he is signed for 2 more matches, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. If they build Roman all the way up, honest to God, they would get slaughtered. If Goldberg comes back and beats him and takes that off him, they would get slaughtered. So let's just hope that the logic dictates that does not happen because, oh my God, yeah, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. No, thank you. All right. So there you go. That was the Samoa Joe thing from NXT, which was a huge moment in wrestling this week. All right. I believe we have 2 retirements.
Yeah, Leo Rush. Obviously, this happened a couple weeks ago, and the most surprising one to me was this week was ACH. He formerly Jordan Miles. For people who don't know him from the Indies, he was in NXT for a bit, but I don't know. I mean, he's supposed to. He announced a retirement this week, so man.
What was the reason for it given, Jeff? Was there anything said?
I missed the report on what was said, but I honestly believe that I think that he believes he should have gotten signed somewhere else by now, and rightfully so because dude is so talented, and he should have. I would love to see ACH in Impact. I mean, imagine him in the X division. That's what I want to see. But yeah, I hate this because I hate to go here, but these 2 guys, in terms of African American wrestlers, the grind that they have, there's a select handful in the business. And another one that I had that I didn't put on here was Faye Jackson, who retired earlier in the summer due to an injury. So I mean, honestly, people like ACH and Leo Rush and Faye Jackson, I mean, they are they are standard bearers when it comes to African American wrestlers, and especially Faye when it comes to independent women wrestlers. So, but yeah, I mean, I hate to see this because two young talented guys that that say for right now they're done wrestling.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, I know a lot of people were excited when Leo Rush showed up on AEW's pay-per-view as well. And then all of a sudden, there was the news where he got injured there badly enough where, and this is a shame for anyone, when you get injured badly enough, and I think his exact statement was that, he felt he could not hold his child anymore. And to think that going forward is certainly a scary moment for him. And obviously he just felt, listen, I'm not going to sacrifice the rest of my life. And, things like that are dear to me, my family, my kid, and any of that for wrestling. And that was what had him want to retire. So, yeah, man, it's sad when we lose talent. For whatever reason, they think that they are stepping away, but it kind of just shows you that when you're outside of their world, you really don't know how tough this can be on them, and how grueling this business is. So we oftentimes say that respect them because it's tough. When you watch these documentaries and stuff like that, you see how much they're on the road, how much they're away from their families. It's a long, long time. And then when injuries start to creep in, and some of them can't get away from it because they love it so much that sometimes they stay past the point of where they shouldn't anymore because they've had either head injuries or things like that they shouldn't be around anymore. And now, unfortunately, a lot of them aren't with us anymore. So yeah, at least with the way I look at this is, for whatever their reasons are, they felt the need to move on and get out of the business. And obviously we wish them all well. Go ahead, Tazzy.
I know about ACH and everything, his short time in NXT. Of course, we know what happened, why he got let go and everything like that. But I wish the best to him. Definitely. About a couple years ago, I actually went to a NXT house show and he was wrestling. Dude's incredible in the ring, and that talent is gonna be missed. The stuff he does in that ring is ridiculous. Like, how do you do that? I don't. It's like we talk about certain other wrestlers that does this, but he's like one of those guys. He's one of those guys that did the exact same thing, and I was like, it sucks because like I was looking forward to like dream matches with him, with other wrestlers, and now it's like you can't see it. I know he's still doing his music, so he still has that to lean on and everything like that. So the best of wishes with him, and hopefully he get through. Maybe come back as the commentating. Maybe that's the perfect time for him to go back to 205 Live to be the commentator on the team. Just saying.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
if they would like to do that, that's not a bad idea. You never know. You might see them back maybe in some capacity like that where, they don't need to necessarily be a wrestler to stay around the business. So, yeah, certainly would be a cool way to see him brought back. Did we get another?
Yeah, Rusty. Thank you, Rusty.
Dude, Rusty, amazing. Thank you so much. Again, if you just joined us, the show tonight, as you can see across the scroll on the bottom, support the Purple Crusaders. The show is being dedicated to them to end Alzheimer's disease. So, and that's why Rusty has been generously donating. We've got donations from other people as well in the chat. Thank you so much. All of those are going to this wonderful cause tonight. And so thank you for doing that. Really, really, really appreciate that. So, all right. Next up, I believe we have maybe this kind of a little bit of I guess it's a little shocking, but maybe not so much. Now there's news about a certain other company having some debts.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Here's what I'm going to say. I threw this in as a topic just because one, I wanted to see some people freak out, but two, to let everybody know, relax. Um, Honestly, when you're a new company like AEW, it's going to take a little bit to get out of the red. And I mean, they're trying to do some big things with their gaming. I think they put far too much money into their gaming stuff. That's just my opinion. But honestly, they're going to be just fine, folks. I mean, they're going to be fine. Hopefully. Now, I don't think they will. I don't think they'll squander things like WCW back in the day, but I think they're gonna be just fine. It's a lot of money, and whenever you say 40 something million in the red, that I mean to us, I mean you might as well just go ahead and just pick out a place for me to lay and um, go to the great beyond. Because if you told me I owed $43 million, I'd probably just lay down and die right there. But
Right.
yeah, but to a billionaire, to billionaires, um, they're gonna be fine. TBS is gonna write them checks. They're gonna get stuff. So I mean, they're gonna be fine. But it is a little alarming to see how much they put into these video games. It is crazy.
Yeah, and obviously, like Jeff said, to be fair, it's mostly, according to the news that came out about this, it's all about that video game that they're doing. So they're investing a ton of money into a video game, which can be risky because it depends on whether or not the game does well and whether it's well received. Now, the diehards will surely buy it, but listen, even WWE's last 2K game really sucked. I mean, let's be honest, it was horrible. It was a mess. Graphics were terrible. Look, these wrestling games aren't easy to get over on people anymore. It's hard to tell whether they want them to be realistic or whether they want them to be just fun. And that's, WWE put out that Battlegrounds game, which is like, okay, let's go back to like older style video games where it's just cartoony and fun. And everybody hated it. The game didn't sell at all. So that's a risk. You're taking a risk there. The other thing I want to point out about this, and then I'll let Tazzy it go, is they can't always assume that they're going to be the ones that are going to be signing these people who have been let go. We can't assume that anymore because they might not have that capital around to do that, to bring all these new talents in. First of all, they've got packed shows already. That the talent they do have on that roster don't always get on these shows. So they've got their own people that they're trying to develop. And so don't go in expecting that they're going to sign up every one of these free agents that has been let go. I know Aleister Black's been rumored to go there. The Iconics have been talked about to go there. Don't be so quick to think that that's all going to happen. Braun Strowman's name has been mentioned going there. So don't be so quick to think that that's going to happen because they may not have that kind of cash to throw around. Go ahead, Tazzy.
Yeah, I agree that there's no way they don't need to sign any more talent. That's a no right now. You're basically doing what the problem WWE had was they had too much talent and nobody was getting on. Now WWE is now back where they're like when there was an Attitude Era where there was not have that many wrestlers, but you know who they are and everything like that. You still have talent in NXT that you could just bring up. You like I said, you don't need to be always signing wrestlers. Do it from within. Do it within the company. That's what it should be done. The video game thing. It's kind of like you gotta remember, like years ago, the video game industry wasn't that huge like this. Where it's like we put a lot of money in the video game, but now. I think they put like MLB The Show. They put like over what 50 mil for that. Oh my god, that is ridiculous money. So yeah, I can see We'll see what happens when they start selling the game. Will it actually sell?
The other thing that needs to be considered here too, and the hard fact of the matter is the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox aren't in a lot of people's hands. Mm-hmm. So if they are getting people and developers that are trying to work with those new generation consoles, they're not going to reach a whole lot of people because they're not going to have them ready for the amount of people that don't have the. Now they'll probably still do a PS4 version and an Xbox, an older Xbox version as well. But if they're looking to develop these for next gen, the way it's going, people aren't going to have their hands on those next gen consoles, anytime soon, with all these part shortages in the world and processor shortages and everything like that. So if that's what they're banking on, and with WWE, it looks like they have their next 2K game coming out too. They're showing these stunning graphics, and if that's what they're bargaining for, they may want to push the brakes, because that's not going to happen. And like Tazzy said, it's hard to know what wrestling fans expect from video games. It really is. Do you want the realism, or do you want these crazy things like we had with, I know it was extremely glitchy, like the chat's saying, but do you want these crazy things where you're going to fight Bray Wyatt in a swamp, or you're going to fight somebody in do you want that? It's hard to figure out what wrestling fans want in a game. Now, maybe AEW thinks they have it nailed down, but that's a risk. It's a bit of a risk. So we'll see where that goes. It'll be interesting to see. All right. Lastly, I think we've got some congratulations in order.
Yeah, there's a new baby in the AEW family.
Yeah, obviously, congratulations. We just had Renee and John Moxley's baby as well. So congratulations to them as well. But, of course, to Cody and to Brandy Rhodes. Congratulations, obviously, on the birth of their child. We all knew that they were having a baby, and it's always great news when and again, it just goes to show you these wrestlers. We know when Becky Lynch left last year, and they kind of wrote that into her story and stuff like that. She came out saying, that she was pregnant, she was going to go be a mom. We know when that came to pass, and Asuka was passed, the torch and stuff. But look, this is always great. These wrestlers are family, men and women as well. So, this kind of stuff is higher above the ladder than their careers. But congratulations to them, and it's always great to see. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, congratulations to them. Honestly, when it comes to this kind of stuff, and like with Renee and Moxley, this is about. Thank you so much, Coop. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes, appreciate that.
Honestly, this goes to show that it's bigger than wrestling. That it's bigger than all of these little online Twitter spats that people get into about which brand is better. Because at the end of the day, wrestling isn't solving the world's problems. It's not. It's not about any of that. It's all about family and all of that. So I'm happy that I'm happy for them. Happy for Renee and John. And I great for them, and I wish them the best. Butterspart is kind of joking there. They did name their daughter Liberty, which is cool and kind of ironic given Cody's promo that he went to his focus group on. Hint, wink, wink. Freedom may be, if they have another child, it might be freedom.
Freedom and liberty. All right.
and you know what? And if they have a third, it may be the first name may be Justice, and the middle name will be For all together. But
my goodness. Okay, Tazzy.
Freedom. Freedom. Okay, never stop.
George Michael. Woo!
Serious, but correction, man, that went by fast. By the way,
Yeah.
oh my god, that was like, when was that? That was like what? That was like November, December. Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. But congratulations, and welcome Liberty to the Liberty. I think this is their first too. So congratulations. That's a lot of sleepless nights. So I heard. Have fun.
I can attest to that.
Ooh,
yeah.
I have been there when I dated somebody with a 4-month-old, so I know the feeling. Congratulations, you guys.
While we're on that topic, and thank you for reminding me, Tazzy, we'd be remiss not to say, and I know I mentioned this to Jeff too, happy Father's Day, obviously, one day ahead, to all the dads that are listening to us tonight. Of course, to my co-host, Jeff, happy Father's Day to you. And also our thoughts and prayers out to anyone whose father has passed on and is no longer with us. Unfortunately, I lost my dad this past Christmas, so that's always tough the year after when these days come. And knowing that, even though for me, I wasn't always close to my dad, but there was always the phone call that you had, the conversation where you called him and said, "Hey, happy Father's Day, Dad. Love you," and so yeah, happy Father's Day to you all. Those of you who have kids, and obviously don't forget to wish your dad happy Father's Day tomorrow as well. So yeah. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sure you have a couple things to say as well.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to you, Joe. And
thank you
to all the folks in the chat. If if you have kids, happy Father's Day to you. And to kind of echo what Joe said, it's tough, man. It's tough losing your parents, regardless of relationship, because I didn't always have a close relationship with my dad, but I knew that I could always call Pop on Father's Day and be like, "Hey, Pop, happy Father's Day," and he'd be like, "Oh, it's just another day." I'm like, "Dude, it's Father's Day. It's your day." So, and honestly, I remember the first time, when I became a dad, my dad called me on Father's Day and wished me a happy Father's Day, and it like choked me up because, it's when you become a father, I don't know, it's like so surreal at times. So, but yeah, if you don't have your father to celebrate with this year, I would encourage you, and I've had to do this, with my mom and dad passing away. It gets really, really difficult on those days, on birthdays, on holidays. But try your best to remember the good memories and remember the good times, because that's what it's all about. I mean, it's very easy to get into that rabbit hole of depression. And I mean, speaking as someone who battles it on a daily basis, it can be difficult to get to get out of that hole. So try to remember the good times. Try to think about some memories that made you laugh. Some kind of funny, goofy moments, and try to remember them that way. Not the memory of them being gone, but the memories that you made when they were here. So that would just be my only advice.
Well said. Yeah, well said. And I see a lot of people in chat are talking. Chat Trader says, "Happy Father's Day, Jeff and Joe." Let's see here. I will be talking to myself on Father's Day since my dad has been gone for 4 years. Yeah, like Jeff said, just perfect advice. Just remember, you have the memories, and you always will. Just remember those good times. I know. I remember, and I could put this with a wrestling thing. I can remember my dad taking me to wrestling events when I was a young kid. So those times are things that, you'll just never forget. Well, Jack said my stepdad passed from leukemia after my 16th birthday. Yeah, so I see a lot of you are in the same boat. Wally's saying, I know how that feels. I lost my father too. The Coog says, I lost my father 2 years ago. It still hurts, but I believe we will see them again someday. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hunter Spark says he was a wonderful human being and a best friend. Rusty says, celebrate life. Don't mourn it. Be happy for who you are and where you are in your life. Yeah, great advice. Dan says, my biological dad gave up on me a long time ago. Both of my father figures are in heaven. My grandfather and my great uncle. There are some of us who, whether or not maybe your dad wasn't around or left the family or whether your dad had passed, some of you do have grandfathers and stepdads and stuff like that were the father figures growing up. So, yeah, absolutely. But happy Father's Day to everyone. Obviously ahead of, and we'll probably say it again tomorrow during the stream for Hell in a Cell too. Okay, I believe it's time for everybody's favorite moment of this show.
Yeah.
We may Jeff, tell everybody, just play the intro.
Yeah, we'll just play the intro.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're gonna hear about it.
Tazzy, since you're the guest, we're gonna turn to you. And the first time that Tazzy is on the airing of grievances segment, Tazzy, you go right ahead and you air some grievances today on the Insiders.
Twitter. Oh my God, dude. Dude. Can you just enjoy a show? Just enjoy the show, people. Like, come on, man. Like people like me, like to enjoy wrestling, and people on Twitter, they do it for a reason. They do it for the clout. You know that's what it is. They want to like, oh, I hate this, I hate that. Why do you have to say it? Could you keep your mouth shut? Like, do you have to put it on type? No, you don't need to do all that. It's not necessary. What I need you to do is get your phone, do it against the wall, and don't go on Twitter no more. I'm sorry. That might be harsh, but I don't want to see that. No, absolutely not. I would enjoy my wrestling shows. I would enjoy the Raw. That's bad, but I still enjoy it. I would enjoy NXT. So Tuesday, I watched after I came from work, and I saw somebody said that was the worst NXT ever. I'm like, what the hell was you watching?
This past one?
Huh? This past one.
Man, they're smoking some good shit, man.
What are you thinking about? Like, you know what I did? When I saw that, I just went like, block. Just enjoy wrestling. That's guys. I'm gonna say it right now, and Joe and Jeff can attest to this. We didn't have folks who was watching wrestling back in the day. We just enjoyed the show. We didn't have that. Like, hey, I don't know. Oh, I watched the show, and then yeah, positive vibes, people. Positive, especially when you watch Raw. Have positive vibes because we've been through some, but I believe they got him. I believe.
I thought you were gonna go with some R. Kelly. I believe I can fly.
I would, but I didn't want to break him up.
Yeah, no, I feel bad that I even said his name.
Who's that? I don't know who he is. Who? Huh?
I was gonna actually sing a lyric, but I'll refrain. Yeah, you know what, Tazzy, you probably, you know what, you've got to even be the most positive person I've ever heard air a grievance. Like, you're even positive airing grievances.
You apologize, Tazzy. You don't apologize during the airing of grievances. You give people the right act. You read the right act. Can I share one real quick? It's a quick.
Go ahead, dude.
It's a very quick one.
Go ahead.
The days of people saying that WWE sucks needs to end, and here's why I'll tell you what I'm talking about. WWE doesn't suck. Raw sucks sometimes. It's gotten better. I will say it's gotten a lot better. But the other programming on WWE, NXT UK, NXT, SmackDown, 205 Live, Main Event, they're all good shows. Raw is the only one that needs to step up. Please stop saying that WWE sucks, because it doesn't suck. The company doesn't suck as a whole. They just need to do some different things with Raw. Okay, I'm done with my grievance.
I'm just going to do a follow-up really on both of theirs. And all I'm going to say is, because I said this on Impact last week, and I said it during the week in a tweet, is this. I'm going to give you guys a little homework. Just a little, and this is very easy to do. One night, just one night, when you're watching a show, when you're watching wrestling, one night. And I'm not saying, because I know some of you watch watch-alongs and stuff like that. Pick a show that you don't watch anything else with. One night. Whether that be an hour, 2 hours. Put your phone away. Put your phone down. Put it away. Put the tablet away. Turn them off. Turn them off. And just sit and watch the show. And then you'll realize how we lived life watching wrestling back 10 to 15 years ago. We didn't have it. You didn't have the distraction. You know what you did? You watched, you processed, and then the next day, in my case, or whoever, we waited to talk to our friends in school or in work, whatever. And by that time, if you were pissed and you were mad about something, you forgot about it. And you went in and you talked about the cool shit that happened. You went in and you said, "Oh, did you see this last night? It was so." You forgot about the stuff you were mad about. So, you know what that says to me? You're not mad. It's just top of mind, and you're thinking that you're mad, but you're not, because you're going to forget about it when you go to bed and you sleep on it anyway. So, one night, disconnect. Take the phone and turn it off and watch that favorite show, whatever it may be, whatever company it may be. Watch that favorite wrestling show disconnected. Do it. And you're going to see how liberating that can be. And it's going to prove my point that the people who are doing this, that aren't doing it for money, which aren't very many, because that's what it is. And I've said this in our streams, and I've said this on Twitter. The people who aren't trying to get clicks and clout and money, the other ones that are commenting are doing it in an instant. They're watching the show, something makes them mad, and they feel that they have to go and put it on social media right away. They've got to get up on the pulpit, and they've got to come out and say it, because God forbid you think about it for a little while and you think to yourself, you know what? It really wasn't that bad. So do that. Do it for me. Do it for me. Disconnect that device and watch one wrestling show without it. Do it. You'll see I'm right, and you'll come on our next stream next Saturday and you'll tell me, you know what? That was really cool. That was really cool. I didn't have to worry about what other people were saying on the Twitters and on the Instagrams and on the Facebooks, I was able to just relax and watch a show and judge it for myself. And it didn't matter. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm telling you, you will. I'm done.
Yep. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, this is a first because Joe, not only did Tazzy get to air his grievances for the first time, but it's time to ring the bell. So, Joe, ding, ding.
Ringing a bell. Here we go. We are at the segment of the show where we debate, and now we have a third debater joining us in Tazzy this week. So we're going to debate first topic, sell or no sell Bray Wyatt. We talked about this a little earlier with Jody, and maybe Jody popped back in. I think she did.
She did.
What I miss?
Hey,
What am I doing?
We have four debaters.
You're just in time.
It always happens that way, doesn't it?
We're doing sell or no sell, and the first topic. And Joe, I guess we can start with Jody. We'll start with Jody. So,
Yeah.
Jody, sell or no sell, Bray Wyatt will return before SummerSlam.
I'm always really bad at knowing what each one means. Sell means it's going to happen. No sell, it doesn't.
Exactly.
I'm going to say no sell. Not because I want to, but because I know how WWE creative is. So I think they are going. I'm starting to feel like they're going to wait until fans come back, and that's why. So I don't think we are going to see him until fans are back in buildings.
All right.
It's unfortunate because I want him every week on the show, but
All right. Well, there you go. Fair enough. So we get a no sell from Jody. Tazzy, do you agree or do you disagree? You're up.
I'm going to sell this.
I love it.
Here is the reason why. We got a pay-per-view called Money in the Bank next month. We might get a surprise entry. That surprise entry, it's not going to be Bray, but it might be Finn Balor.
Ooh.
If that happens, be prepared to see a circle as somebody might appear and cost Finn Balor that match, which will be Bray Wyatt, which will get a rematch from 2 years WrestleMania. The Demon Finn Balor versus The Fiend at this year's SummerSlam, it is the home of the Raiders. Go Raiders! Home of the Raiders, and this individual Bray Wyatt, his favorite team too. Why not just make it a little circle here? Yes, Bray Wyatt will be back before SummerSlam.
now I could see him coming back at SummerSlam, and I would love for that match, the Demon versus the Fiend. I don't know. I don't really see anything happening with him before that.
Okay, yeah, good point. I mean, it does say before SummerSlam, so I am going to say, for the sake of a storyline purpose, I'm going to sell this.
I love it.
Because I think that there's going to be an attack somewhere first. I think that's how they may bring him back. Start him off with his old routine that he did before and come out and attack somebody or let it be known who exactly he's going after. And that's what I think is going to happen first. But I do agree, though, with Jody's point in the fact that, look, it seems as if SummerSlam is Bray's pay-per-view. This is where he's had two big wins. He was brought out on a SummerSlam, and oh man, if it's Finn Balor, dude, my mind's gonna explode. That's a dream match for many, many people. Balor actually chatted about it a little bit, so maybe there was a little hint being thrown around. But whatever it's going to be, I would think I kind of agree there, though. I do think that his actual return to action will probably be SummerSlam. But I do think he will appear a little bit before it. Now, I don't know if this whole night thing is going to pan out that we talked about earlier. I don't know if that's kind of a mislead, and maybe that's just to sell some tickets because they will see Bray at the event, maybe in a dark match capacity, like Jody and like C said, that could be as well. And just kind of getting him back in action and stuff like that, and for fans to see. But I do think he will be back for SummerSlam, but I think he will come back in some capacity, whether it's promos, whether it's the Funhouse, whether it's, and we don't even know how he's coming back. We have no clue. So whatever that's going to be, though, I do think they'll start it a little bit before. Jeff, go ahead, man. Sell or no sell?
For all of the reasons you just mentioned,
I love it.
I'm going to sell it. And one reason is WWE, please. I think it's going to happen I think he's going to return at Money in the Bank. Because that's going to be the first one that's going to be back in front of fans. So I think he'll return there. I do think he will have a match at SummerSlam. I so hope it's against the Demon, Finn Balor. I hope so. But just a little tidbit for people. You know how everybody made a big deal of this whole streak thing that some guy that was a legend, I think his name was The Undertaker, he had like some undefeated streak at WrestleMania, I believe. I think that happened. Bray Wyatt is undefeated at SummerSlam. Just keep that in your mind. That's all.
Don't start that shit. Just don't.
It's out there. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
The Schwam has spoken.
Don't put that in the universe.
I'm not saying he's going to lose.
I know, but don't put that in the universe, because then if he does, you ruined it.
Well, damn it. I spoke I take it back.
Bray needs to win in front of the Raiders crowd. That's a good point, too. That's his favorite football team.
Yep.
And they're going to be,
if they're waiting to put him back on TV until crowds come back, what better place to bring him back than in front of his people?
I'm just saying, if there wasn't a game that day, I would be flying out there.
Ricky Glow says sell, and there are rumors that WWE want to re-sign Aleister Black. Yes, we have talked about that before. Noob saying sell because he needs to come back. James says reason I say sell is because first pay-per-view with fans is Money in the Bank. You mean SummerSlam? Tazzy says is on white. Big Dan says sell. Bray Wyatt will return with the return of live crowds. He'll get a huge Road Warrior pop, and Jody will swoon like Joe if he got a part in the Friday the 13th film. I would die if I got a part in Friday. Well, literally, I probably would die. But that'd be amazing. All right, Jeff. Next topic.
All right, next topic here. We're gonna talk about Impact. Again, Slammiversary will be the pay-per-view of the year. Sell or no sell? Joe, we'll start with you.
Wow, man, this is it's always tough when you're going to say that it's going to be the best of the year. I mean, we've already had some pretty good shows. That NXT takeover was fantastic. We had WrestleMania. We still have yet to have SummerSlam, and they're building SummerSlam as if it's going to be their WrestleMania. So it's tough to say. But the card that they're putting together for this, for, all the cross promotions and all the things like that, and we don't know how many surprises they're going to have. So that's one thing. I get you guys all don't watch Impact, but that's one thing that Impact has going for them with this, that the other promotions, WWE, AEW, and stuff like that, probably won't have, is the surprises and the shocks that they're going to have as far as new people joining them. Let's say a Mickey James shows up on Impact. Let's say the Iconics show up on Slammiversary. That's what I think they've got going for them. Boy, this is a tough call because I think SummerSlam is going to be huge. I think Survivor Series may be really, really big. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to sell it.
I love it.
I really think, and I know I've said this to you guys before, it is my favorite show of the week, and I'm not going to deny it. So I might be a little bit of a homer, maybe, but I really think Slammiversary this year, being in front of fans, I think is going to be very, very, very special. So I think that it's going to be now. Again, sure, people can argue with me, and some of the people in the chat probably will, and that's fine. What they're going to say are things like, I'm going to be a lawyer now. What they're going to say are things like, well, Joe, Becky Lynch is going to show up at some point, and it's going to blow the roof off the whole place. Brock Lesnar is going to show up as I get it. But there you go. I'm selling it. But go ahead. I'm going to pass it on to Jeff. Go ahead.
Joe, you remember how you just said that somebody's going to disagree with you? That person is me.
Told you. See,
I'm gonna no sell it. Because spoiler alert, this won't even be Impact's best pay-per-view of their slate. This won't be their top pay-per-view. It'll be one of the best that they've had, but this won't be the top. Because we're going to see some additions at Slammiversary. There are going to be some shocking moments. However, the one to keep an eye on is Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory could be the best pay-per-view of the year. Now, again, like Joe said, we're going to get some great pay-per-views from other promotions. We're going to see some big returns in WWE. We're going to finally get to see the fans come back in WWE. It's going to be great. Slammiversary, I believe, though, is just going to be the appetizer to the entree that will be Bound for Glory. And I honestly do believe that Bound for Glory might, at the end of the year, we might be saying, holy crap, can you believe they pulled this off at Bound for Glory? So, yeah, that's my little 2 cents there.
Yeah, all great points. Go ahead, Tazzy. Tazzy's evil laughing.
I am going to no sell this. I'm a homer too. I like Impact, but there's another show I actually like too.
Yep.
And that is NXT. Can you imagine NXT with a huge crowd coming up in the near future? Oh my God. So I do say this. Slammiversary will be the top 5. On the top 5, I'm not sure which order, will be one of the top 5 pay-per-views of the year. So will the first NXT takeover of the year. So with the first SummerSlam. So yeah, it's going to be, when these crowds get back, it's going to be insane. Now, Slammiversary is going to be an awesome show. It's going to be a 10. No, I have a feeling it's going to be a 10. I think I just jinxed it, right? It's going to be a 10. But I honestly think this is going to be a great show. Honestly, I think it's going to be a top 3 pay-per-view. Honestly, but yeah, that's my reasons.
All right, I see. Now I was waiting for you to pull, but Joe, there's going to be War Games in front of fans later this year. That's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for.
That's actually one of my top 3.
That's what I was waiting to hear. Lorana Nation says Slammiversary will have many surprises. I agree with you. Conrad says, sorry I'm late. No problem, man. Thanks for showing up. Sorry you're having a rough night, dude. Did you see the Impact card for this Thursday? I did. Yeah, it's out there on Impact's Twitter. So if you're wondering what is coming up, yes, I did see that. All right. So,
Jody, do you have a thought on it? Sell or no sell?
No.
You know what?
I'm
Because
gonna agree. Like, I think with fans coming back with WWE, that's gonna really shake things up. So,
yeah,
it's gonna be tough to beat.
yeah,
very true. Very true. All right. What do we got next?
all right, man. So, all women's pay-per-view from NWA will finally bring women's wrestling the same respect as their male peers. Sell or no sell?
Let's start this with Tazzy. You're first on this one. Go ahead, man.
You guys going? I know a lot of people are going to hate me on this one. No sell. I'm kind of at the point where I'm tired of the split with the male and the women. You don't see an all men's pay per view, and we don't get it. We shouldn't get all women's. It should be all together. It should be together. It should be. What's it? Unity? Well, not unity. Like, it's supposed to be even. I honestly think what that would do is divide. If you do another women's pay per view, so I am definitely going to no sell this.
All right, fair enough. Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm gonna no sell it, but for different reasons. I'm gonna no sell it because for some fans out there, no matter how great a product is, how great matches are, they just won't ever give the credit to the women that they deserve. Period. Women's wrestling has always been good, but for many years, women's wrestling was, let's be honest, it was relegated to bikini contest and degrading segments involving women. You can go back in the day and watch Wendy Richter, and you can't tell me she couldn't wrestle. But it wasn't given the proper respect that it should have been, her matches. Jacqueline, I can go on and on and on with great women's wrestlers. And Joe, you talked about one. You talked about China.
Yep.
And I mean, think about what they did with her. I mean, she was up against the men for a lot of it, and I'm pretty sure she could have had some other matches that would have torn the house down. So I don't think that some fans are willing to give the credit as they should. But at the same time, I mean, I'm excited to see it. I'm always trying to give women's wrestling credit. That's also true too, Rusty. And yes, James Alundra Blaze, aka Medusa. Yeah, I mean, I think that I'd like to see another all women's pay per view, but I just think that some fans are just at a point where it's just like, okay, yeah, we get it, but did they do that cool spot that Ricochet did? Well, I mean, some of the women can just give it a chance. So, but yeah, that's my take.
So I'm going to agree with both of them, and I'm going to no sell it. Dust, our predictions are right after this. As soon as we get done with this segment, we're going right into the predictions. So they are right up next. I'm going to no sell it for some of the same reasons you guys just mentioned. So my thought on this, what she's going to do, And Mickey's a big name to be an ambassador for this. So they've got that going for it. The problem is she's going to get people in from the indies, no doubt. She's going to get some people in, of course, the people who are involved with NWA, like Thunder Rosa and Camille, great wrestlers. If the situation were that Mickey could pick and choose who she wanted to be over there, and the forbidden doors weren't locked due to contracts and stuff, could you imagine if she put this together and had somebody like Becky Lynch show up, or had a Charlotte show up, or had, Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon show up? The list could go on and on. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And chances are they may not even get a lot of people from AEW. If obviously the people who had split with AEW, like Thunder, that has been to AEW already, sure, and maybe Serena Deeb, because she's gone back and forth. So maybe they will be there, but they're not going to get Britt Baker, I don't think, because AEW hasn't seemed very, they haven't shared that many people other than Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers with Impact. So I kind of don't think they're going to just send, like Jade Cargill. I don't think they're going to send them over to be there during this. Maybe if they would, then yes, I would say it could. But unfortunately, and for the reasons Jeff said too, we're getting there and we're moving the needle, but it's not there yet. And I don't think that this, while very good intentions, and while Mickey is really trying to accomplish something awesome, I don't think it will give them the same respect as the males have yet. But hopefully we're going to get there soon. Do we still have Jody? Does Jody want to chime in on it?
I'm still here. I'm going to agree with everybody else. I'm going to no sell it. I think they've made a lot of good strides. But we're not quite there yet.
Agreed. All right. We are all in agreement on that one. Everybody was saying, oh my God, everybody disagreed on the last. Well, 3 people disagreed. All right. We are at the time of the night for the predictions. And again, I'm sorry we're going late. We had a lot to cover. So let's get to what to watch for segment. And of course, we have our pay-per-view tomorrow. So Hell in a Cell is what we are going to be watching. Of course, we're going to do the watch along tomorrow night for Hell in a Cell. We will all be there. And so what time are we starting, Jeff? Is it a 7 start or is it an 8 start?
Yes, a 7 start from what I've read so far. So
6:45. Okay. All right. So Jeff and Tazzy will start you guys off. I will be along to join as soon as I can. I'll get home, have a quick something to eat, and I'll be in as soon as I can be. So, all right. So let's get started. And we said we're going to do predictions, and we are going to do some predictions. So let's go. This is what we have for the card. The card is right up there. Let's start from the bottom and go up to the top. Let's start with this one. We are having now, as you'll notice, there are a couple of rematches here from previous pay-per-views. So let's start with that first one. This always entertains. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Let's start there. Tazzy, who wins? Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, part 2.
I feel we're about to get a part 3 to that.
We might.
So for that reason, I think Sami Zayn is actually going to win this match. Lots of craziness is going to happen. I'm not sure how it's going to how you going to win. It's Sami Zayn. He's a slime ball as his character. So who knows what's going to happen? But Sami Zayn is going to win this match. Sorry, Kevin.
You know what, Tazzy? I'm gonna back you up on this one too. I think Sammy's gonna win this too. I think Sammy's gonna get a push. I think they're getting behind him a little bit. He kind of got away from that whole conspiracy theorist thing. He still kind of talks about it a little bit, but they're not kind of pushing it as much with the filming and all that they were doing before. No Logan Paul says is on what right. I think they're getting away from it. Sami, dude, I love Sami Zayn. That dancing stuff he does is hilarious. Sami is really a personality that they should be pushing, much like we said about Cesaro. Sami really deserves a push, and I think he starts to get one here, and I think Kevin Owens is gonna put Sami Zayn over a little bit here, and I agree. I think Sami Zayn wins it. Jody, if you're still here, give us your pick.
Oh, I think you're right. I think Sami Zayn is going to start to get a push, so I could see him winning this. But like Big Dan said, with some shenanigans, there's no way I can see Sami winning that clean.
Could very well be. I mean, it might come into question whether he is aligning with them, with Apollo and Commander Aziz. So, yeah, that could be something. It could be a possibility. All right, Jeff, what are you thinking?
I'm really excited for this El Generico Kevin Owens. I had to.
Nice.
No, I'm really excited to see this. I love their work, their chemistry, and everything. But I gotta agree with the rest of you. I think I got Sami here because I think we might start to see a little bit of a turn for KO. Heel KO is a great KO.
Yeah.
KO is just great anyway, but a heel KO is even better. So give me heel KO. Let him get pissed off and do some crazy stuff. And but I've got Sami winning this one because I love Sami, and we've never seen Sami and El Generico in the same place at the same time.
All right, well, there you go. We're all in agreement. Let's see. I think the chat, some of the Big Dan says Sami Zayn, yes, wins with shenanigans. Sami wins by Big E heel turn or costs Owens. Look how uncomfortable Big E was with Owens, says Chris Pauly. Hello, Chris, by the way. KO Sami can fight forever, says James Chadwick. I agree. Yeah, it's just a great match. James Grant says Sami Zayn wins. Azan says Sami. Apex Legends Mobile, hello, saying Brock Lesnar will defeat Roman for the title. Well, that would come out of nowhere. James Chadwick said, Commander a sneeze. Sami is because he's definitely going to get pushed, says Noob and Company. Chris Pauly says, I don't know. I think a Big E turn on Owens to start a feud. Will Jack says, I think Sami wins as well. All right, let's move up the card to the next one up, and we'll go with Cesaro, the returning Cesaro, who came through the door of Ding Dong Hello and showed up and beat up everybody and wrecked the house against Seth, the I dress better than anybody on any show, Rollins. Who wins this one? This is a tough call for me because Jody mentioned it earlier, and I don't know. As much as I love Cesaro being pushed, I made a prediction a few months back, and I said that I think he would be better off suited going to Raw and getting pushed there. I kind of think that's what they're going to do. I think he's going to lose this match, but I think it's for a reason, and I think that Cesaro is going to be moved. I think he's going to get put – because, listen, at this point, I don't think he's going back to Roman. We've seen it. It didn't happen, and then – Seth came back in and kind of took over. So I think that's done. So where does he go from there if he beats Seth? Where would the next step be? I think he's going to lose the match, and I think people are going to start to say, oh, well, there goes his push. I don't think that's true. And thank you again, Rusty Shackelford. Good Lord. Thank you so much again for that. I mean, Rusty has been a big friend of the show, of course, donating for Alzheimer's awareness, of course. And thank you so much for doing that. But I think that Seth wins. And as Jody mentioned earlier in the show, I think they've got something planned for Mr. Rollins going forward. So go ahead, Jeff. What do you think?
That Tyler Black, man, he really looked sharp last night. Oh, I'm sorry. Seth Rollins. And that Claudio guy, no, I'm sorry. Cesaro.
What is going on here?
Listen, Maj dared me to do it, so I was gonna do it, and he kind of stole my thunder. But
Nice.
it's all good. But yeah, I honestly love this feud. I cannot get enough of these two guys wrestling each other. And Cesaro's gotten the best of them up to this point, which is why I think Seth is going to win this one. I really do. And, could we see Cesaro headed over to Raw? I would love to see a Cesaro Bobby Lashley program. I'd love to see a Drew McIntyre Cesaro program.
Yeah.
How we get there, Cesaro maybe drops this one. He gets drafted to Raw, and we're off to the races. So I've got Seth because I think we're about to see some interesting things coming from one Mr. Seth Rollins.
All right, Jody, go ahead.
Oh man, what amazing as that match between Roman and Cesaro was. It was absolutely fantastic, and I think we're going to get a similar match between Seth and Cesaro. I think that it's going to be a hell of a match. It's going to be amazing. Both of those guys are incredibly amazing athletes, and I love Cesaro. I would love to say that he wins because I support the dude. I think he's fantastic, but I think that Seth is going to take the win on this one. I don't think he does it clean though, just a sneaking suspicion.
Okay. So some interference maybe. All right.
Not necessarily interference. He just may weasel his way around it.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, Tazzy, what are you thinking?
I'll go with Seth. And Joey just said an inch of what I was thinking. There might be a surprise who might just show up and help Seth Rollins. I'm not sure who it's going to be. I just have a sneaky feeling. Get it? Sneaky feeling? I like that. Yeah.
That's
anyway.
kind of what I said. I'm like, I just have this weird gut feeling something weird's going to happen, and it's not going to be a clean match.
Yeah, so I can see somebody helping Seth Rollins win this match. And that's actually a brilliant idea. Cesaro drafted. We know about the rumor draft after SummerSlam, so why not him back to Raw? That will probably help Raw a lot with Cesaro over there.
Yeah, I agree.
And can we just take like 2 seconds to appreciate how great Cesaro has blossomed into this push?
Yeah.
Because he's finally getting a chance to speak, and it's not some robotic, obviously the promos are still scripted for WWE, but it feels authentic, and I love this. I love this. So give this man a push, and take him over to Raw and give him a push. And Cesaro for WWE champion at some point in the next 8 months, hopefully.
Yeah, I'd be all for that, and great reasoning behind that. Okay. Oh boy.
This is a good one.
Oh, it's a good one. All right. Boy. Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler. This could be my downfall. I could be in big trouble here. I had said for months that I don't want to see this come to a point where we get either an entrance or at some point some sort of creepy ass spider walk in the middle of the ring. And the contortion that I saw, the little bit of it last week, has me extremely nervous about what I'm talking about. So that said, go ahead, Jody, start off. Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler.
I'm just excited to see your reaction if something weird happens. Because I've heard it on the phone, but I think this one is actually, it's not going to torment you that much.
Okay.
No discredit to Shayna Baszler or Alexa Bliss, but I don't really see this match lasting very long. I think there's going to be a lot of theatrics, almost similar to the match that she had with Randy Orton. I think there's going to be a lot of theatrics. There's going to be some weird, lighting, maybe some things falling, some interference from Lily, blah, 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 blah. So I don't really see a lot of actual physical wrestling involved. And I don't think it's going to last that long. And I really don't see any feasible way that Alexa Bliss comes out of this losing. She's got the momentum, and with the storyline going the way it is, with now a Shayna Baszler possessed, blah, blah, I think that's going to continue a little bit further. So I don't see her losing.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel a little better now anyway. Tazzy, go ahead. Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler.
You are not gonna like me because it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be zombied out. Alexa Bliss is gonna win this match because the momentum of kind of things is a circle, and I think what the main of the match she's gonna have at SummerSlam is gonna involve Nia Jax. With that included. It's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. It's gonna be a mess. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's gonna be a lot of theatrics.
I can honestly see. I think C said this yesterday in the stream. There's a possible that the sale might come down during this match too. So
I could definitely see that. Like with the falling lights on Randy Orton last time, I could see that 100%.
That would be cool, man. Okay. All right. That would be cool. Although I don't know how cool it's going to be, but that would be cool. I have a feeling that Lily is going to pin Shayna, not Alexa. Going to get pinned by the doll. Alexa in trouble. Lights go out. Lights come back on. Lily on top of Shayna. Ref counts 3, and that's a wrap, says the crew.
Oh, my God.
Stupid. Alexa, off. See, I'm already being haunted by it, and it hasn't even started yet. Go ahead, Jeff.
I know how you feel about contorting women, but how do you feel about contorting men?
I
know where this is going. I
just don't like contortion all that much at all, really, to be honest with you. I'm not fond of either one. The woman thing bothers me, I think, a little bit more, but I know what you're talking about, though. And if that happens, that's a whole nother story, dude. Go ahead.
I think that's possible too.
So we got some very interesting developments with Reggie being mesmerized, we'll say, possibly even possessed. So I think, and listen, this dude has a background in Cirque du Soleil.
That's true, he does.
So he is acrobatic and flexible as all get out. Sorry, Joe. So I think we could see, because we know that Shayna and Reggie don't really see eye to eye. And I think that at some point, Miss Bliss may have control of one Reggie who will possibly help her, and she will get the W and continue her momentum, and we'll see what's next. But I think she's going to be in control of Reggie at some point during this match.
It's 11 at night. Why did you have to put that thought into my head on top of the other one I had already? Now I have 2 possibilities to think of, and you know what? I didn't even think of the fact that, yes, he was in Cirque du Soleil, and those people can twist themselves like pretzels.
Yes.
So, fantastic. Now I got to think of that on top of the other part of it is, oh, dear Lord.
Sorry, Joe.
I'm
Sorry.
sunk in this match pretty much. Yeah. So if you're gonna, you know what? If you're thinking of coming out for any reason tomorrow night, I guess you probably should come out in this match because you all obviously would, you love to see me suffer. So just come out because obviously there is probably going to be probably a very good percentage that at some point I'm going to suffer during this match. So if you really want to see that, you masochistic, whatever, I'm not even going to say it. Yeah. You may want to just make sure that yes, thank you. You may want to just show up for this match at some point with our watch along tomorrow. So, but okay, Tazzy, go ahead.
Since we didn't get to do Abby's, did anybody else notice that Reggie was acting a lot like Alexa used to act when she interacted with the Fiend? Just me? Yep. Is that it? I mean,
no. Yes, we saw it, and
all that talk that we had about mirrors.
Yeah,
they were there. Yeah,
that's very true. Yeah, I noticed that too when he was tilting his head back and forth, and she would tilt his head back. Yeah, yep. I agree.
There's been a certain number of horror movies that have had a scene quite similar to that, actually.
Very true. And I probably watched none of them, to be honest. The Coog, stop mentioning The Exorcist. Yes, that's what destroyed me. Okay? Yep. Destroyed me from that kind of movie. I watched it, I think, when I was about 8. So, yeah, I blame my parents. What are you doing letting an 8-year-old watch that in the first part anyway? Like, what kind of drugs were you on? If you let me watch that movie when I was 8 years old, no wonder I'm ruined.
Rules were different in the 1800s, Joe.
Oh, well, that's true. You know what? Then what are you doing then having me? Well, they would have been chiseling it on stone tablets at that point. So either way, I'm blaming them. So all right. Do we have anybody? Did everybody go? Tazzy, did you go yet with this one?
Yeah, I went.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Get away from this. Bianca Belair.
Just prepare yourself, Joe. That's all.
I'm blinders. Blinders is what's going to happen. I'm getting my sleep mask that I used to sleep sometimes, and I'm going to have it on my forehead for that match.
So Joe, essentially, hold on. Essentially, Joe, what you're saying is,
yes, yeah.
This will be Joe tomorrow night.
That is exactly what it looks like, and it's the same color too. So yes, that will be me tomorrow. Yes, during this match, that will absolutely be me tomorrow. Yes, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. All right, the SmackDown Women's Championship that was this match was just made last night on SmackDown. This is a Hell in a Cell match. Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Bayley's getting a little cray-cray. I know it. There's something with Bayley now. Bayley's always been kind of odd, but she's getting a little cray-cray with all the things coming up on the video screens and the laughter. And I don't know what's going on with that. But look, I think this is going to be a heck of a Hell in a Cell match between these two. Like I said earlier, she's grabbed her hair and done things. I said, what if she takes her hair and literally ties her to the cage at some point? I could see Bayley doing almost anything here. So, all right, Tazzy, why don't you start?
This is gonna be a good Peaches in the Cell. I mean, Hell in the Cell.
That's why I had Tazzy start.
Hell in the Cell. I'm looking at it. Hell in the Cell. Not Peaches. Hell. Okay. You guys remember Victoria when she turned into the psychopath type of woman?
Yeah.
That type. That's what Bayley reminds me of now. She's turned into that psychopath. Like she'll do anything to win the match. She's that. Not saying she's going to win the match, but I'm just saying it's going to be a lot tougher for Bianca this time around. expect a very violent match.
Yeah.
Very violent match. It's going to be nuts. Yeah, Bianca going to win this match. Barely win this match. Barely, because I think Bianca be the right person to actually go in front of fans as a champion. So that's what it looks like they're going towards. So Bianca still your SmackDown champion.
I agree with you on the outcome. I think Bianca is going to win. I also agree with you that I think it's going to be brutal. I think this match is really going to be a brutal match. You're going to see a lot of stuff from both women that choking each other out and again, like I said, the hair getting tied on something. I mean, you want to really get brutal. As you're climbing up, she can grab onto that hair and kind of rope her around while she's up in the air. Over the cage, or up on the side of the cage. So I think we're going to see some brutal stuff in this and show you just how. And like Tazzy's saying, whether she's changing to a different persona or a different personality, Bailey, I think you're going to see more of that done to show how sadistic she is becoming or willing to be. But I do think that Bianca escapes with the title. But escape is a big word here because I think it's going to be really, really, really close. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh man, I'm laughing at Rusty. Oh boy, that's gonna be fun. I've got Bianca winning this, and I do. I think it's gonna be that type of match that it's gonna be physical. It's gonna be downright brutal. It's gonna be violent, and I honestly, I'm hyped for this one to be inside of the cell, and I was wondering which match. I mean, like, at what point are we gonna get a women's match inside the cell? And we got that last night, and I'm happy about it. I cannot wait to see what Bianca does in the cell because I think the other part of this, yes, we're seeing a different side of Bailey than we've seen previously, but we're also getting a glimpse at a more determined, focused, and hungry champion that is Bianca Belair. So I think whenever Bailey turns up the intensity, we're going to see the champion do some of the same. And if you think that what we got, and I saw the look on Joe's face, and I know what he got. So, but I think we're going to see Bianca like really turn up the violence several notches. And if you thought that we got something with that hair against Sasha at WrestleMania 37, I think she's going to beat the absolute crap out of Bailey with her hair at some point.
Yeah, I would agree. And yes, I just got a text from Rusty that I really didn't need to have, but yes. But see, this is what I mean. Like, everybody laughs. I hate you. Anyway, no, nobody's sorry. No, you're not. Yeah, I'm sorry, but not sorry. Nobody's sorry. They just like to see me suffer, but that's okay.
I'm sorry for laughing.
That's okay. Fine. I'll just suffer for everyone. That's fine. Go ahead, Jody. What do you think for this one?
I think the fact that this is a Hell in a Cell match is just going to add a whole nother level to how amazing this fight is going to be. This isn't going to be a match. This is going to be a cat fight, and an all-out cat fight, like the one that you will pull over on the side of the road for to watch. And you know what I mean? The things that people take TikTok videos of.
I saw one last night.
Brawl. I do think that Bianca comes out of this victorious because she deserves it. And I think she deserves, like, everybody's been saying that she deserves to have that moment. She had her moment at WrestleMania, but she deserves to be able to perform more frequently in front of fans. And I think they're going to keep that belt on her for a while. She's an amazing champion. And, I think both women are going to let loose their sadistic side.
All right, sounds good. Fair enough. Let's move on to the next one. We will go to the Raw Women's Championship. This is Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. We've seen this match before. They brought down the house at a WrestleMania. We'll start with Jeff here. Jeff, who wins that women's title? Does it go back to the Queen or does Rhea retain?
You know, out of all of the matches on this card, this might be the most difficult one for me to pick because I could make a case for either. I could see them putting the belt back on Charlotte, going into events with fans. I could really see that being their logic, but I also think it's way too early to pull the belt off of Rhea. So for that reason, I am going to go with Rhea Ripley retaining the Raw Women's Championship. Jody, your thoughts?
I agree with everything that you just said. This is probably the most difficult one to call for exactly the same reasons. Do I think that WWE Creative will put the belt back on Charlotte because they're about to have fans back, or are they going to continue to have Rhea be pushed and have her be in front of fans as the champion? Or do you have them fight again in front of fans and then have Charlotte win the belt in front of fans? So I'm kind of torn on it, and I'm going to go with my gut. And I think because there are going to be fans back, and I don't think Charlotte beating Rhea in front of fans will go over well. I think they will put it on Charlotte tomorrow, and then she comes out as champion in front of fans.
Cool, Tazzy.
This is a nightmare of a scenario. At the same time, you can't go wrong with neither one of these. Neither one in winning or losing. It depends if you want to go Rhea Ripley. Basically, she's basically a in betweener. Basically, that's what I'm seeing with her. Or you can go with Charlotte Flair. You want to heal with the fans. It actually depends how you want to book that. Now, you can actually do Charlotte Flair win tomorrow and have Rhea Ripley come back and win at SummerSlam. There's so much stuff you could do with this. You can make a triple threat match for Becky Lynch coming back, guys. Becky Lynch coming back. So here's the thing with that. Do we want her to beat Rhea Ripley, or do we want her to beat Charlotte Flair? Because you know she's getting that title back.
100%. And I think, me personally, I would like to see her beat Rhea Ripley. But remembering who runs this company, they would rather have Becky versus Charlotte.
Here's a question for all of you, including the chat. What if we do get Charlotte winning the title tomorrow night? And there's a young lady that's gotten the best of her recently that might be in line at SummerSlam. Could it be Nikki Cross? And not necessarily based on what she's done recently, but could Nikki Cross win the women's Money in the Bank?
Now, I could see that.
Just going to throw that out there.
I could definitely see Nikki winning Money in the Bank. 100%. I do think she has championship potential. 100% there. She's fantastic. I love her. I don't think they're quite ready to push her that far yet. I think they're just starting to, and I think she's got a little bit more to build first. And I think SummerSlam might be a little bit too early, but I could definitely see Nikki winning Money in the Bank, and I would be totally cool with that. I actually wouldn't mind, when I had my video chat with Rhea Ripley, she said she wanted to fight Becky Lynch. So, yeah.
I like Rusty's comment. If we're all being honest here, Charlotte could beat Thanos and Chuck Norris in a handicap match. Well, so you all made really good points. I mean, and we did see that Becky is working out at the Performance Center.
Mhm.
So
No way Becky is coming back before fans do. She'll come back when fans do.
yeah, I would think so. I think her big debut is probably going to be SummerSlam because that's where they're trying to build that up as a WrestleMania. So that probably is what it's going to be. So the question then is, who carries that title up until that point? As much as a lot of people are going to want to lean toward, yes, they're going to want to give it back to Charlotte. I don't think so. I think at this point that I think Rhea will retain. I think this is going to be a really good match again, like we saw these two have before. But I think Rhea retains here, and I think she will be the one to hold that title. Now, we don't know. The other thing, too, is we don't know where Becky's going to show up. And people have said that Becky is listed as a SmackDown superstar. So if that's the case.
Could you imagine Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch?
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then,
so
if you have Becky and Charlotte as the champions, or Becky and Rhea Ripley, you could have, at Survivor Series, you could have champion versus champion.
They would want to
use the champion.
Huh?
Yeah.
Don't forget, they might have the NXT going along with this too. Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hodge says Becky looked jacked. Yeah. So look, I think that Rhea retains and goes forward into whatever program they're going to have. And if they're bringing all these people back, they're going to load that SummerSlam up. Then I think that Becky Lynch will be there to fight against whoever else. And don't forget, there's another name, too, that's probably going to return for SummerSlam, and that's Sasha Banks. So we don't know where she is she going to get her rematch? That's another possibility as well. I know Sasha's working on some other things right now, but chances are they're going to want her back for that pay-per-view also. So, sorry, I was off there. Did everybody get a chance to go on that one? Yeah. All right, cool. All right, well, then we got one match left. The WWE Championship, rematch after rematch after rematch. We've seen this before. The question is this it? Is this the end? Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre, also a Hell in a Cell match. Is this the last we see of this? Does Drew lose, or does Drew get his win before they head back out and can go into seeing fans with that title? Let's start out with Tazzy. Who wins this rematch?
Honestly, don't mind this rematch because it's actually Hell in a Cell. If this was like a regular another match, I'll be flying to Connecticut and like, hey, check this out, man. That's enough. That's enough. But it's a Hell in a Cell match, so with these two, it's probably gonna be very, very brutal. And I still think they're gonna have Lashley go with fans as the champion. Drew might end up finding somebody else. I don't know who. Like I said, Raw is so all over the place right now. You can't even predict what's going to happen now. So, but yeah, Bobby Lashley wins.
I'm going to agree with your outcome because I think Lashley wins as well. And I think this is the last time that Drew gets to face him for that title. The key there is, though, the key word is the last time you will face me as the champion. So the question then is, who does Bobby move on to, and how long is Bobby the champion? So I don't think that necessarily means that Drew is going to be pushed out of the title picture. But I do think Bobby retains here, and I think this is the end of the feud between the two of them, and I think they will move on to different directions. The question is he going to win it clean? I want to say no, but I don't know how or why he's not going to. I just don't think he's going to win it clean. I think someone may come out. Now, Azan is saying Kofi Kingston's name, which is quite interesting, considering that we have seen MVP talking to Kofi Kingston. It'd be very interesting to see a heel Kofi Kingston. Not going to lie. Would be pretty cool. MVP's talked to some other people, though, as well. So did MVP talk to someone that may cause Drew the match? And then it would certainly make a lot of sense, because then they would move on with Drew and this other person going forward, and then Bobby could go to another feud. So, but I agree with Tazzy. I think Bobby wins the match. I just don't think it's going to be – I don't think he's going to win clean. Go ahead, Jeff.
Eli just kind of stole my thunder here a little bit, but, it's all good. We've seen MVP talking to Kofi, but Kofi's too good of a goody two-shoes, in my opinion. And who would really benefit from a singles run, especially after the match he had with Riddle? That'd be Woods.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to get some interference somehow, some way. Obviously, you can't get into the cage, but I think we get something. And I think Bobby retains, and I think we get shenanigans, and I think we might get a return tomorrow night. And I don't want to say who yet, but I think we get a return.
All righty. Go ahead, Jody.
I'm going to be the odd one out here. I actually think Hell in a Cell, the fact that it's inside Hell in a Cell, is going to be the deciding factor of this match. I think that it prevents shenanigans, and I think there's a reason for that. I think it's inside Hell in a Cell to prevent shenanigans so that people can't interfere and help Bobby win. And long-term storytelling, I actually think that Drew is going to win. He will go on the road as the champion and face one Brock Lesnar to come back for revenge.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are wondering about Brock and when Brock's going to show up. So again, SummerSlam would make a lot of sense.
Because Brock is going to go one way or the other. He's either going to go after Roman because of Paul Heyman, and if that happens, the only thing I want to see out of that is Paul Heyman's face, because he won't know what the heck to do. Or he's going to go after Drew. And the only reason he would go after Drew is if Drew had that belt. He's not going to go after Drew just to go after Drew, because that's not what Brock Lesnar does. He goes after the belt. So if he's going to come back and try to go after Drew for taking his belt initially, then Drew has to have the belt back. And the whole point of Drew taking the belt was so that he could do it in front of fans. And I think they're going to redo it, or at least try to.
Yeah. Great point. All right. Well, there you go, guys. That is our predictions. And yes, it's going through the chat that apparently the Milwaukee Bucks have come back to beat the Nets and knock out New Jersey. Apparently, I guess it was Kevin Durant missing a three-pointer in overtime. That cost them. Wow. So the super team is gone. The Bucks move on. So
Womp womp.
Right. All right. Well, that's it. We are running long. We apologize. There you go. I used to like when they would do it on TNT, and they would do that whole segment with Gone Fishing. Well, the Nets have now gone fishing. So yes, they are gone. So a lot of people's picks tonight to win the championship is out the window. So, all right. We have one segment left tonight, and that is Jesse Calynn. While Jesse's getting ready, I know Jesse's in the chat. While Jesse is getting ready, let's see. Legendary Buchanan says, heard Brock isn't interested in facing Roman. It's good to know that Ray didn't get destroyed by Roman on Father's Day. Yeah, that's true, I guess. If you want to look at the bright side, Jeff, Joe, Tazzy, and Jody Lashley retains. Brock comes out and challenges Lashley for the WWE title at SummerSlam. If you are new to our channel, please hit that like button on the video. Also hit the subscribe button as well. We really, really appreciate that. And hit that notifications button if you are so inclined and would like to be notified about when we have future content. While we're still all here and we're waiting for Jesse to warm up, give us a quick, because we didn't have a chance to do the segment tonight, but give us a quick favorite moment of this week. Tazzy, go first. Favorite moment of this week in wrestling.
Oh, you know I'm an NXT person. So Joe, Samoa Joe popping up at NXT, just awesome. What that whole show was just great. I very impressed. Shout outs to that whole Triple A, Shawn Michaels, all the Undertaker, by the way, that whole crew that's in NXT right now. They're doing their thing.
Jeff, man, what was your favorite moment of the week?
That is a really good question.
Yeah, tough one.
It's a tough one, but honestly, for me, it's got to be NXT. It was another great show. Another great show. NXT is one of the best right now. So, NXT.
Yeah, right up there next to that, and I'll agree with both of you. And I said how good of a show NXT was this past week, and Samoa Joe showing up there. Right down from it though was the Callis and Dreamer segment for me on Impact. Comes in, right below that, because that ending was built up, and I don't really know that anyone thought it was going to be Dreamer that was going to walk out. So I think, again, something that kind of took me by surprise this week. So, yep, Conrad says number 2 is Don Callis getting canned. Yeah, I agree. I think that was my number 2 for the week as well. Jody, I don't know how much wrestling you got a chance to watch. I know you've been really busy with work, but if you had a favorite moment this week, what was it?
I didn't get to watch any wrestling this week, so I'm going to say tonight and getting to hang out with you guys and talk about Hell in a Cell tomorrow.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Dreamer fooled me, says Conrad, but thank you, Jody. We appreciate that. We appreciate you coming out tonight. I know you've been really busy. It sucks when you have to get stuck working a lot. So we really appreciate you joining us. It was cool to have you tonight with us. Always good to have the gang together, especially going, toward a pay-per-view and stuff like that. So glad you were able to come out with us tonight. Jody, you're up. Jesse. Jesse, you're up. It wouldn't be right if I didn't finish the show with a screw-up, since I seem to be doing that a lot today. Where are you, Jesse? Are you still in the chat? I know I saw you. Are you out there, Jesse? It's time for the jokes to fly. Where are you?
She said, filibuster for a few minutes.
Okay. And you don't even have your Statler and Waldorf in the chat because he's sleeping. So you don't even have to worry about getting heckled. Filibuster, darn it, says Jesse. Oh, man. Well, we will take this time to, again, remind you guys that this show, of course, was dedicated to the Purple Crusaders to end Alzheimer's disease. So anybody who did send us a super chat tonight, we want to thank you all for doing so. I don't remember all the names. Of course, Rusty Shackelford donated several times. James Chadwick, I know, put a donation in. Sean Rousset, I know, did as well. I know there are a few more of you, and I'm sorry if I forget the names, but thank you all for doing that. That is all going to go to that charity, every penny of what you guys donated tonight. If you didn't get a chance to hear in this chat, totally understand that, and that is perfectly fine. But that website is up there, so if you have had anybody impacted by this horrible disease, please consider going to the website you see on your screen and donating whatever it is you can. for this great charity to help us rid ourselves of Alzheimer's disease. So thank you again for coming out and doing that. We really, really appreciate that.
I have a lot of love for Alzheimer's patients, as you guys know, since I run a geriatric psychiatric facility. I deal with Alzheimer's patients a lot, and I see how debilitating it is for people to literally lose their personality. I've had patients who have come to us that have forgotten who their spouse was, and yeah, it's definitely debilitating, and we do the best that we can to try to get them to a manageable state and help them live life as long as they can with that disease. So it's a great charity.
Absolutely. John Cena Gamer 0809. Hello to you, by the way. I don't know if I said hello to you earlier tonight, but my favorite moment is Alexa Bliss and her spider walk. Jeff donated too. Yes, he did. Yeah, Jeff did donate as well.
The Coog.
James
Coog did too.
The Coog, thank you. Yes, the Coog did as well. Thank you. James Chadwick says Cena got knocked out in a wrestling match. 3 hours later, he wakes and asks the nurse, "Where am I?" She answers, "I see you." Cena replied, "No, you can't." Very nice, James Chadwick. Very nice.
Clever.
All right. Big Dan, did you hear Willie Nelson had a breakdown? Apparently, the doctor said he was out of joint, but
What the heck is going on?
Zach's filling in for Jesse, apparently. Very nice. Okay. All right. Well, Jack says LOL. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night, of course, for Hell in a Cell. That will be starting at 6:45. I'll be along a little later after work. I do work a little bit later on Sundays now, so I'll be along as soon as I can. When I do come home, I'm probably going to have a little bit of time spent with my wife and my daughter if they're around, obviously for Father's Day too. So I will jump on, though, as soon as I possibly can. Again, as we said earlier in the show, happy Father's Day to all of the fathers that are out there. Have a great Father's Day tomorrow. Enjoy your special day, of course. And for those of you who aren't dads yet, make sure you give your fathers a call as well, and say hi. If of course your fathers are still with us.
Thank you, Steve.
Steve comes out with a donation that says, "Did I just hear a joke that was decent? Oh wait, it wasn't a Jesse joke."
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, I said he's Jesse's personal heckler. I love it. Rusty says, "I always take a piece of paper to a wrestling show just in case I have to face The Rock." Think of some paper and scissors. Yes, that. There you go. That's good. I love it.
Funny.
Watched a 4-hour arm wrestling match. It was more gripping than I thought. Wow. All right, Jesse says, "I have several. I'll just let you know when I'm to the last one because I did not count them. And now your heckler is here, so be careful." Be careful. He said he legit just woke up to heckle Jesse. So there you go. So Jesse said, "C is so mean, I'm crying." Oh no. Oh no. If you haven't, by the way, make sure you go and check out Jesse. Jesse did a prediction video as well, so make sure you go and check that out also if you have not done so yet. All right. We are waiting for Jesse's first joke to come out. See with the heckling, says James. James is crying. John Cena Gamer, I will definitely be joining you guys for Alexa Bliss versus Shayna. Well, of course, yeah. Oh, I already know that our views will jump when that match happens. I'm fully aware. I'm fully aware that that's going to happen. So I'm almost kind of hoping that starts because then I'm probably going to miss it. And yeah, there you go. I may have a built-in excuse. So, all right, we got joke number one. Build a man a fire and he'll be warm for a day. Set a man on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. Oh man,
Jesse, you're starting out
Hot.
fire! Jesse versus C at SummerSlam in a joke war, says Big Dan. Ooh,
Oh.
ooh, okay. Well, Bray cooled off a bit, didn't he? People can heal, Jesse, says C. Man, you're going to get it from every joke you put out. He's going this is good.
Okay.
Jesse's number 2. A friend of mine told me my girlfriend treats me like God. She ignores my existence and only talks to me when she needs. Nice. Jeff, you need a logo, and I said because you have the stage set up there. You need a logo of C, and you need a little balcony on the side. And you need to have him up in the balcony in the corner of that little logo that you've got there. Yeah, has to happen.
has to happen.
C says, "Friend, you've got friends." Oh my God. Number 3, light travels faster than sound. That's why some people appear bright until you hear them speak.
That's sadly true.
I love that.
I like that too.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good one. And we're waiting for C's reaction. She says, "C, you're my friend." The crying emojis. Oh my gosh. Wow. It is late, guys. We are yes, we know it is late. Thank you for staying up with us tonight. We really, really appreciate that. Again, thank you for all the donations that you gave us as well tonight. Really appreciate that too. Big Dan says, "Did you hear about the 70-year-old man who was acquitted of exposing himself in the grocery store? The evidence wouldn't stand up in court."
That's
clever.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. All right. Number 4 from Jesse. "I got hit in the head with a can of soda yesterday. Luckily for me, it was a soft drink." Why? Everybody's getting into it now. The Coog says, "Why does Mick Foley buy the supermarket brand cola? He always goes for the cheap pop."
Speaking of Mick Foley, he's on the Broken Skulls tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. He is. Yeah, they showed a clip of that. C says, "I got tons of soft drinks, Jesse. Let me throw them at you." Like rotten tomatoes, he says. Last and final joke coming next for charity. Here it goes.
I don't know, C. You're kind of skinny. I don't think you could throw that far.
Oh, whoa.
What is going on?
Wow.
This
Holy
is
cow.
what I'm like on complete lack of sleep.
Oh, it's getting nasty. Look at the response. I can't read that because this is not non-PG. Last and final joke coming next for charity. Here go. Oh man, Jesse, you might want to hurry. You're getting violent.
Run.
Right? Yeah. Holy cow. Jesse, hurry up. Oh, thank you for the donation, Jesse. Look at that. She puts her last joke up with the donation as well. "I once ate a watch. It was time consuming." All right. There you go. Wow, it got violent there for holy cow. Anyway, thank you, Jesse, for the donation. Really tough crowd tonight, just Rusty. Yeah, it is. Big Dan says, "This is such good shit." Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, guys, listen, it's almost midnight. We really appreciate you sticking around. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, thank you. Shout out to Jody for coming on with us, being with us tonight on the show. Really, really appreciate that. I know she's got a lot of stuff going on and busy. Also, thank you to Tazzy for joining us tonight as well. On our show. Really, really appreciate Tazzy coming out also. So before we go, Tazzy, tell them what you got coming up for the week. Let them know what you got going on.
Well, that changed actually. Honestly, from I had a conference with my owner, club owner, and I have to get some stuff done this week. So no shows this week actually. Well, of course tomorrow, but no shows this week. We're gonna start the second season, guys, of the party on July 6th for NXT.
All right. Well, there you go. So be on the lookout for that. That will be, Tazzy's second season starting on July 6th. He said she had to do a donation thinking I wouldn't heckle a charitable act. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, as far as what we've got coming up, so, of course, tomorrow night is Hell in a Cell. Please join us tomorrow at 6:45 Eastern Standard Time. Jeff and Tazzy will be here to start out the show. I will be along as soon as I can right after. Monday, we don't have anything because, of course, Jody will be, she has things to get taken care of medical-wise. So just make sure that you have her in your thoughts throughout the day on Monday as well. So no Abby's this week. And then we will move to Thursday, which will be Impact. So the card's already out there. So if you want to see the card, it's over on Impact's Twitch. Check it out. Looks like it's going to be another great show. Some great matches on that card. So make sure you come and check out Impact Wrestling with us this Thursday night. And then we will be right back here next Saturday night for another show. Another wrap show for the week that was. And if it was as good as this past week was, we may start out tomorrow and see. There's going to be a lot to talk about next Saturday night as well. So, all right. That is all, guys. Wish you the best of Father's Day. Hope that you have a great one. Have a great rest of your night. As we always say, stay safe. And hopefully we will see you all tomorrow for Hell in a Cell. Thanks very much, guys. Have a great night.
And thank you, everyone, for donating to the Purple Crusaders. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you all who donated. Good night, guys.